Content warning. Guys Will Be Talking is a podcast centered on media with some pretty dour subject matter. If you're particularly sensitive to any type of content, please check the content warning list linked in the description before continuing. Welcome back, everybody, to the Guys Will Be Talking podcast, where today we are continuing our very special Deconstructeam Super Season, where we are covering every Deconstructeam game that has been released commercially. So we started our podcast at the very beginning by talking about Gods Will Be Watching, which is also where we got our namesake. So last week we recorded an episode on Red Strings Club, which will obviously be up by time this is up, and today we will be talking about essays on empathy and Many Nights a Whisper, and then we will conclude in a couple weeks with the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood. So the chronology here is a little weird. It just kind of makes sense to pair essays on empathy with Many Nights a Whisper in terms of like how much hour of game we needed to play for this episode. That being said, I did watch all of the videos that go along with each of the games at Essays on Empathy, and that more than doubles the playtime. So,
yeah,
I ended up with about 8 hours of time in Essays on Empathy, whereas the How Long to Beat score was like 4 hours, which I think is accurate if you just play the games. But so we're gonna be...
I've just finished playing the. I've only watched the video of the one on the garden game, and it was like really just now. I didn't. I underestimated how long it will take me to beat both the last game of this thing. Thanks for the heads up, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And Many Nights a Whisper took me 2 hours to beat rather than one.
Oh really?
Because I would get up and walk around the house, thinking about stuff.
Thinking about what wishes to grant.
What wishes to grant, what I would grant, thinking about the world, thinking about the very nature of wishes, and whether someone's wishing something doesn't mean that they're actually already kind of granting it just by expressing it into the world. These kind of questions. It's okay.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So perfect. So I am your co-host Jacob.
I'm your co-host Victor.
And I think, like, I'm really excited to jump into talking about these games, but I do want to just mention a couple things beforehand. So, last week, I had complained about the fact that MinMax had not released their developer spotlight on Deconstructeam yet, which was true at the time of recording. It will have been out probably for a while by time that episode releases, because they dropped it the next day after we recorded.
Yep. We summoned them.
And there were a couple things in there that I was like really excited to see. One, just really funny that they had a shrine dedicated to Hideo Kojima in their offices, considering the big twist at the end of Red Strings Club. I also felt like so fucking vindicated just looking at their walls and seeing a big ass Mob Psycho 100 poster after I had compared Akara to Reagan while we were recording that. Because I was thinking like, maybe it's a bit of a stretch. Maybe I'm just like making connections that aren't there. But I saw that poster and immediately was like, nope, that's 100% canon. So that was exciting.
Just for the listener, it's the character is called Reagan in Mob Psycho 100. It's not like there's Ronald Reagan in Mob Psycho 100.
No, he's
Just
about as
just to
opposite from Ronald Reagan as you could
yes.
possibly be. Um, and then
When you told me that, I lost my fucking shit though, because I remember that specific, just that one sentence where you mentioned how what you said, and I was like, motherfucker was in on it.
I was there. I was in Spain making these games with them. Um,
Spiritually, you might as well. Well, I don't know.
Hell yeah. So another interesting thing is we had talked a lot about how like the pottery section in Red Strings Club felt like it was a game jam thing.
Mhm.
It literally was a game jam thing. So
Yep.
you were right on the money with that call. So basically, what Essays on Empathy is all 9 out of the 10 games were games that had been released by them for free on itch.io.
Mhm.
And I think basically all of them were game jams.
Mhm.
They if you watch all the videos that come along with them, they basically describe like, oh, this game jam, the theme was ancient technology. So that was the theme for Supercontinent Ltd, which is eventually what becomes the Brandeis offices level in Red Strings Club.
Mm.
And they talk about, which I thought was really interesting, since it was ancient technology, it was like most other people doing the game jam would be making like, you know, stuff in medieval times, but to them they thought it was cool for ancient technology to be ancient just relative to the time the game takes place, so they set their game in the future and the game is
That
centered around a
rocks.
landline phone. uh which we had a lot to say last time when we talked about Red Strings Club. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that rules. I gotta say that game. I mean, we will talk about it in time, but yeah, it was still pretty jarring to play this game after playing the Red Strings Club version. Because I mean, I'm very real. The Red Strings Club just outshines it so hard that it's like it was kind of hard to play.
yeah, for sure. Both because both the Akara pottery section and the Brandeis office section have their like prototype game jam versions in Essays on Empathy, and both of them were really jarring to play for different ways.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I mean, between like the MinMax video and all the like documentary videos as part of Essays on Empathy, I just fucking love this studio even more. Um,
Yeah.
I think like one, they're cool people. Looking at their backgrounds, they've got so much cool shit. They've got a big wall of manga behind them in all of the like couch sit down videos where they're talking about the games and Essays on Empathy. Uh they just seem really rad, and I love their philosophy for game design and everything. What one thing I thought was really interesting was that they mentioned in one of the videos was about how their like core philosophy now is no fail states. Um which is really interesting considering just how fucking brutal Gods Will Be Watching was in its fail states.
Yep.
Um and
Damn,
so
this is
you
the one video I
basically see
watched.
that. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they okay. So this is kind of tangential. So they mention in that video that I wanted to talk to you about. They
Yeah.
literally mention Uncharted 4 in that video where they were talking about like
No?
um
You sure?
yeah, yes. Oh, wait. Let me see.
I
I
literally just watched it.
Oh no, it was in the video about Zen and the art of transhumanism. They bring up the no fail states thing multiple times.
Okay.
Um so
But they do mention
the
something very
in that
similar in the garden video.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They mentioned it in quite a few of the videos. Um but there was a point in the video about Zen and the art of transhumanism where they were talking about how like imagine playing through Uncharted 4 and like experiencing the story and the set pieces and being interrupted constantly by fail states. And I've actually I've had I talked to you a bit ago about how I was considering pitching Uncharted 4 for
Mm-hmm.
this podcast, literally just because I have something I really want to talk about with Uncharted 4 that I could not make a fucking video essay on, but as a
Mm-hmm.
point to make in a podcast I think
Yeah.
would work. And that
Is that
is the
literally just
fail
say it?
states. They No, because I both agree and disagree with them in this, because I think the thing that I discovered about Uncharted 4 last time I played it on PC was that I think you have to play it in the hardest difficulty most of the time, because the hardest difficulty makes you play it in the most interesting way. Because it's not just that all the enemies have way more health and you have way less health. It's that they have more advanced AI and are more aggressive and everything. And so if you're playing in normal difficulty or easy difficulty, it's just a cover shooter where you pop out and shoot some heads and pop back in and pop out and shoot some heads. But when you're playing on the hardest difficulty, they're flanking you, they're throwing grenades, you have to duck and cover and swing around and go in and out of stealth, and it's fucking awesome.
Mm.
But they did not tune the difficulty at all to the set pieces where you're getting dragged along on a rope behind a speeding vehicle and all the enemies are shooting at you, and at that point you can't duck behind cover and everything. And I just think that they should have significantly lowered the difficulty during the set pieces, because the thing that's so cool about Uncharted 4, other than the mechanic play that I just talked about, is the forward momentum. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you're in those set pieces, that forward momentum is getting halted so heavily if your difficulty is set to the way that it has to be set in order to have fun in any other level.
Yeah.
But this isn't this isn't a podcast about Uncharted 4. So
I mean, it's funny, but it does make me think of. I've played a lot of. Oh god damn it! I need to look it up again. De tres al cuarto.
uh-huh.
De tres al cuarto. I tried to play more of De tres al cuarto because oh god, I went into French for a second. I do not want to inflict that upon our listeners.
Do it.
I no, it was an accident. I don't even know what I will do with it. The reason I played this game again is because I tried to access some more of the dialogues with the build-up mechanic, but man, this game is hard to get good at. And I thought maybe a bit too hard, considering it's a game that you're only meant to play once or twice at most. But anyway, that's the end of that tangent.
We'll get into that, but they say in the video for that's literally the point. And I felt that was the point too, was that it's literally impossible to get good at.
Yeah, I get that argument. But man, I want to see the funny jokes. I get it. I'm sure we'll come back to the garden video because there is so much in what you already said that I wanted to talk about. But I feel like let's get to Many Nights of Whisper.
All right, so let's get in there. So Many Nights of Whisper is, at time of recording, Deconstructeam's most recent game. It is a pretty quick experience, I guess, if you're not Victor and pacing around the house trying to decide what to do every night. But it's a really cool game where basically you are what's known as the Dreamer, and you are basically in charge of slingshotting a flaming ball into a far-off cauldron to grant everyone in the town's wishes, and if at least the ones that you accept, and if you make it, then all the wishes are granted, and if you don't make it, then none of the wishes will ever be granted. And so it basically it exists in a day and night cycle where during the day you are walking around practicing your slingshot, and then at night you will be presented with people who have like grown their hair out into this really long braid, and they will ask you their wish, and you will decide whether to grant their wish or not. And if you grant it, you cut off their braid, and it becomes part of your slingshot, making it shoot farther, so you can actually hit this fucking cauldron off in the distance. And if you reject it, then they just leave, and their wish doesn't get granted when you make it. If you make it. The really interesting thing about this game is, like, going off of their no fail states philosophy that we've been talking about. At the very end of the game, you can either make it or not make it, and that is just how it is. There's no going back if you miss it. But we'll get to there eventually. So how'd you feel about this game overall?
I have a pressing question I must ask you. Why do you call it a cauldron? It's a chalice, or or a cup, or a.
Because I'm pretty
it's
sure
not the
they
Olympic
called it
cauldron.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what they called it in the game.
So we probably don't have the same word then, because I played the game in French because it
Okay.
there was that option in the languages.
But also
I have a rant to do about localization.
Okay,
So many rants in my head.
Well, before you get to that, it's good that you pointed out it's not the Olympic cauldron or whatever, because actually in the Mid-Max Spotlight video, they talk about the inspiration for Many Nights a Whisper, and it was literally that they were watching the Olympics, and the opening ceremony was like a guy who had to shoot a flaming arrow into the circle or whatever, and Jordy, one of the developers, was just like, oh, they could have missed that. And that is the entire inspiration for Many Nights a Whisper.
That's so good. That's so fucking good.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure they called it a cauldron in the game, and that's why I'm calling it a cauldron. Otherwise, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I feel really good about this game.
Good.
I think I really I want to play more. It makes me play more indie games, and to introduce my sister to this and other of the Deconstructeam games, because like we played the Red Strings Club together. And it's been a while, I think, since last she played an indie game, and I think it was since Undertale. And yeah, we've been under the weather for a while this year, and honestly, playing back to back all the games of Essence and Empathy in the last 2 days, because I was really not in the mood to play after a day of work. It did me a lot of good, genuinely. So yeah.
I mean, one of my big takeaways from this so far is like, fuck, I need to be playing games on itch.
True. Yeah. There are a bunch of free games out there, and that have, artistic intention, to say the least. I don't know how good they are, quote unquote, but experiencing artistic intention from people is good. You just work on the music.
And I mean, there's that in general, but there's also 30 more Deconstructeam games that I could play on itch. Because they have, I think they said De Tres El Corto was their 48th game, 47th or 48th game. And every game that isn't on Steam, from what I can tell, though I think they're including canceled games in that list. Every other game is just a free game on itch. And so Essays on Empathy was more of a curated 10 games from that they have for free on itch that kind of show off their evolution of a studio, is from what I can tell based on how they talk about them in the videos. Basically, each one they were yeah, this represents a new era in Deconstructeam. And I'm like, I don't know how every game can represent a new era in Deconstructeam, but fuck it, we ball.
But it's kind of true. It's kind of
It
fucking
is.
true.
It is for sure. Yeah.
Jesus.
So anyways, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get back to Many Nights a Whisper. So, um, do you want to like run down like how you went about deciding whether to grant the wishes or not?
Sure, I think it's the main thing to do because, like, we are definitely not going to talk about every wishes.
Yeah.
Um, well, I was strongly influenced by the Red Strings Club playthrough we did because we kind of, in the Red Strings Club, there is a whole debate of like, even if social psyche welfare is an objective good, um, this is effectively playing God. This is
Yep.
modifying people to make them better. And what Many Nights Whisper establishes is that once the wishes have been granted, they have been established into our reality. If someone wished 10 years ago that the sky would be red, and that 5 years ago someone wished that the sky would be blue, and that both dreamers exhausted their wish, no one would know. There is no history. I mean, or to be more exact, history is being rewritten.
Yeah.
So this is some pretty big decisions, and there is a valid argument that like, oh, well, you shouldn't ever play God or whatever. But this game is really not trying to go for that because I mean, one of the guy's wishes is like make smoking healthy.
Oh
And
yeah, I said yes
yeah,
to that 100%.
yeah, who the fuck wouldn't? Motherfucker,
Yeah.
yes, make smoking healthy. I want to look like a cool motherfucker smoking shit and shit.
So I wrote down not expecting to go through every wish, but I did write down each and every wish, like whether I accepted it or declined it, just in case you asked me. And for most of them, it was like some wish to do this accepted, wish to do this denied. I wrote 15th wish to make smoking healthy instantly accepted. Like I did not need his explanation for why I cut his hair the second he said make smoking healthy. I was like, yeah, why? That's a fucking genius idea.
Yeah, and I heard out all of their explanation for the wishes. Sometimes dangerously too much. I also like kept skipping through even when they got to the poem at the end. And then I went, oh shit, right, your hair, your hair. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to edge you.
Yeah. There were definitely some where like their explanation starts and I'm like, yeah, you know what? And then they keep going and I'm like, no. I'm not cutting this person's hair.
I'm gonna I can think of one person with that one in particular. The lady with the cancer.
Yeah, exactly. Like cure her of cancer so that she can get revenge on someone. I'm like, no.
I thought really long and hard about that one. I ended up granting her wish. It's not the one wish I granted that I regretted the most, though.
What's the one you regretted the most?
The dog.
Wish for the dog to live forever?
Yeah.
You granted it?
Yeah.
Oh, I denied that
sorry.
shit.
So also every night you do a series of wish granting and then you make a dream that is in the subject of those wishes. Seeing the dream with the dog made me so fucking sad because it says like the dreamer is imagining a dog so sad, infinitely sad after seeing so many owners pass away. When will the next one go, or something along those lines? And I was like, oh, I didn't mean to pursue you. Ah!
Yeah, those dreams were really cool. We should talk about those. So, yeah, like you said, you will have a dream based on the decisions of what wishes you granted or not. like where you just envision the reality where that's what played out. And a lot of those I felt like, oh yeah, I did good. And then there was one in particular where I was like, oh no, I did bad. 'Cause there was one where the wish was like to end work. And I was like, I was thinking, at this point, I mean, this is like the 18th wish, but I was still kind of in the headspace that this is like a monkey's paw situation or like a genie situation where it was like, yeah, no, I mean, removing the need to work in order to live is great, but the verbiage is just rid the world of work. And I'm like, does that mean everyone will fucking die because no one will be like tending to farms and shit? So I declined the wish, and then the dream was like, you dream of a hyper-capitalist world where everyone is really competitive. And I'm like, no!
I mean, the dude that sells you on it is clearly a fucking nerd. If you've played Disco Elysium, it's clearly one of the fucking communist guys in their basement. Like, not the most charismatic guys, but you gotta go with the idea. Yeah, work sucks. Work fucking sucks. And I mean, like, if anyway reality is being rewritten, then it's not like there is regret to be had. Let's just make it interesting. Fuck it, we ball. And yeah, that dream was really uplifting. It was like the dreamer dreams of a world where rather than through obligation, people go through their ordeals and their means out of necessity rather than out of necessity for the tasks to be accomplished rather than a necessity for abstract survival through money.
That's what I wanted, but that's not what I thought I was gonna get!
Dumbass. No, but I agree. I had that hesitation moment. But it's cool that the game delivers so hard on those. Like, I don't know. I like it. I mean, there is a version of this game that will come out where whether you picked one choice or the other, the dream would have been like kinda good, but also kinda bad.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been a cop-out. I don't know. We all want to dream of a better world, and so does the developers. And it's good that they're being honest about it. I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
The reason why return to the woman that had cancer. So she starts surfing. I've been fighting with cancers for so long. The doctors have said I should have died a while ago. Please cure me of this. I will kill this motherfucker who's ruined my life. Basically. And I was really like, oh god, man, like. On the one hand, I absolutely want to cure someone of cancer. Someone that's coming out to me and that's like, I want my cancer to be cured. I'm like, yeah, wish granted. No questions asked. But you've also just told me that you want to commit murder afterwards. And I'm like, I don't want to be complicit of murder. I wish you hadn't told me you were going to do that.
Yeah.
But then it's kind of like, oh, I'm just being selfish because I wanted to make an easy decision tonight. And I really debated with myself, and I was like, okay, if I was in the dreamer situation here, and I know the game isn't going to deliver on that, but if I was in your situation here, what I would have done is like, okay, your wish is to be cured of cancer. That wish is granted, but I'm calling the police. And that has nothing to do with your wish.
Yeah,
so I granted it.
Oh, okay.
But the dream didn't. Yeah, not good things didn't happen, or would have not happened.
So she, what?
Okay. I kind of need to blow it early, but I missed that shot.
No! Oh man.
I missed that shot.
That's interesting. I'm really excited to get to that because I want to know what happens if you miss it. But we'll get there.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, because Because I was thinking like maybe. Well, one, they're trolley probleming you with that fucking cure cancer thing.
Yeah.
Again, which is interesting. But I was also thinking like this maybe seems like the kind of thing where like going back to Akara and her pottery, where like maybe you cure this person of cancer and that also like cures them uh of their spite, and they end up not killing this person because they're not spiteful anymore. So
Oh no,
there's a
that's not what the dream
theoretical.
implies. That's not what the
Yeah,
dream
so what does
implies.
the dream imply?
That you murdered that dude, and that there was a lot of like the dream is being very indirect about it, but the dream directly mentions a child crying at a man trying to put some organs together.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, so whatever that entails, I'm pretty sure it's not good.
Yeah, damn. So did you, when you were practicing the shots, did you like try to get one into each cauldron?
Yep, I got lots of achievements.
Me too. Did you read any of those?
Yes, I read all of them.
Okay. I want to know what they say because I made a mental note to go and read them and then I didn't because I forgot. So,
Bro, they're world building and they're pretty cool. For example, it goes a lot into what happened with the first dreamers. For
mhm.
example, and their mentors. Like for example, the 13th mentor went and asked a wish of a dreamer, and that wish was, wait, is it the 13th mentor or the 13th dreamer? I'm pretty sure it's the 13th mentor. The 13th mentor grew a bread and asked a wish, and that wish was for to be turned into a star and to guide the shot of every dreamer that would come to pass.
Hmm.
And another thing was like someone wished for the moon to disappear,
Uh-huh.
but not for the meaning or the word moon to disappear. So people know that there should be a moon in the sky and that it's gone, but they don't know what a moon is or what it should look like. They just know that it's gone and that it should be there in the night.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's I just talking about it. I want to go through them again because it feels like I could have missed some implied meaning
Mhm.
throughout the game. But yeah, it's cool stuff. It's I don't know, Dark Souls world building.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I just opened them up and I see immediately one that jumped out to me I think is interesting. Is Last Dream. A dreamer decided dreamers shouldn't be able to wish. No one has wished for dreamers to wish since then.
Yep, yep. There is one that's fucked up. One is like, uh, dreamers are notoriously explore the possible worlds every night once they exhaust the wishes. One person that wished for their wish was to explore those dreams, and the ensuing recurring loop destroyed both the dreamer and the wisher.
Damn.
That's fucked
Uh-huh.
up. But yeah, uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of getting notifications through Steams, but when I realized what they were doing with it, I was like, yeah, I don't think I would have went into a menu to see those little bits of floors if they were given through items or any other means.
Yeah, for sure. And it's cool because the way the achievement pops up is that you get like a little taste of what the lore drop is and you want to like open it up to read more because I'd done that for the first few, but since I was playing it on my Steam Deck, it's a little cumbersome to open up your achievements on that thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
that makes sense.
so uh I guess like I want to save the last night of wishes for a bit, but is there anything else you want to like really get to before we move on to that?
Yeah, if you were able to have a wish, what would it be?
Oh man.
Like you grow your bread for I don't know how many years, and you're gonna make that wish. What will it be?
I don't even know. I mean,
You
I
haven't thought
fucking
about it?
I mean,
Yeah, no
I
wonder I played
literally
2 hours of this game.
I mean, I literally, even though I declined it, like one of them was like, I wish to never need to sleep. I want that too. Like, if I'm making a selfish wish, that's my fucking wish. I want to never
Damn,
have to sleep because
what the
sleeping
fuck, man?
sleep. Think of all the fucking games I could have played by now if I didn't have to spend 7 hours a day of my fucking life, a third of my goddamn life, clocked out.
Okay, look, hear me out. The happiest period of my life was probably, I would say, mid early COVID, when I really didn't have any purpose in life, but I didn't have, I was still a student and living at my parent, but didn't have any stakes, monetary stakes, but also I was mostly being left alone. Um, and I didn't have to worry about money. But it was also the point where I was starting to dream about stuff, about what I would do in the future and stuff. Like, because all the way before I was just being depressed and nonchalant. And this at
Mm-hmm.
that point in life, honestly, man, like the happiest moments I was in my life was when I was sleeping. Sleeping, man, it's the best. So I mean, I don't know if it's something that like that's just me, or that you need a specific metabolism, or that you will eventually get to experience. But honestly, I think that if I could do the opposite and be like, I wish to dream for the rest of my life, I would consider it, or at least will have the power to wish myself into a sleep. I don't know, but at the same time, it's one of those things where like I don't think I would actually go through with it in terms of wish, because the the act of having a satisfying moment of sleep is linked to your direct happiness. So the implication of, oh, I just want to have the power to will myself into sleep, doesn't really mean you will get those satisfying nights of sleep you had before.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's just you. Everyone I've ever talked to about this has said I was fucking crazy because sleep rules, blah blah
Oh.
blah. But no, fuck that. Y'all are wrong.
Okay,
I
never mind
want
then.
to
Sorry,
be
man.
I want to be up all night. I could have finished Pragmata by now. I really fucking want to play Pragmata, but there's not enough hours in the goddamn motherfucking day. But you know where there are hours? In the night. And I could have been playing Pragmata. But instead, I had to sleep so I wasn't fucking dying the next morning.
Uh,
But
well,
what about you? If you thought if you thought so much about it, then I want to hear yours. Cuz I mean, I like that I say is my answer, having put no thought into it, just remembering the dream that I was like, yeah, I want this too.
so I thought long and hard about it very early into the game, before some future wishes would come up. Um, the what I first thought about was okay. First of all, I'm assuming that we do not live in a world where money is necessary, because if money was necessary in the same way it does for us, then all of the wisher would have asked for money. Um,
uh
Turns out, I assume that turned out that's not the case, because there is one person that was wondering about becoming rich, but then retracted their wish. So I don't know how true that is. It feels like we aren't that desperate as we are nowadays. But it feels like it's still kind of capitalist society, since that one guy brought up, we don't want to work anymore.
Yeah, I
So I
think
don't know.
just
So
small
yeah,
tangent before you get to your wish. I think that something really interesting about this game and about a lot of their games actually is that it exists in this weird like liminal space between reality and fantasy, both in like the mechanics of the world and in time. Because like I felt like this
true.
game took place in like uh ancient times, but then like someone mentioned a video game or something, and then like I would one of the every night it like describes your healthy monk ass meal that you eat before bed and like the activity you do before bed, like take a nice soothing bath or whatever. And then one of the nights was fuck it, pepperoni pizza, masturbate. And I was like,
Yep.
all right, I guess that someone in ancient times probably wouldn't be eating pepperoni pizza and masturbating. So, this must be in some weird liminal modern day and ancient fantasy. Uh, but yeah, so to go
I
back
love
to
it.
your
That's a great point to make. Yeah, because Red Strings Club is also in that, except instead of fantasy, in science fiction. Like
yeah,
the Red Strings Club feels uncanny to play in how close to our own reality it is, despite being in a cyberpunk setting.
mm-hmm.
Um, to return to my own tangents, the I assumed that our world we didn't need money, and also that our world wasn't plagued by madness. Is the short I will make of it, due to current events.
Right.
Because people would be wishing a lot of other stuff if it wasn't the case. So we aren't plagued by madness, and money isn't like that unimportant of an issue, is what I assumed. I was like, damn, if those neither of those two things are a thing, I guess I don't wish for anything, honestly. I was thinking. Because if it wasn't for that, I feel like I would look forward to stuff in life. I wouldn't have regrets. I mean, I do have regrets, but especially this year after having started a work that I really regret and stuff, and really hating work, it's like I value the lessons that, for example, that the Deconstructeam team does with the in eh, let me look it up again. I will remember it. That's right. Detresse al quarto.
Uh,
Like these things of like, oh yeah, money doesn't bring happiness, blah blah blah. And like I thought I believed it before, but really this year has cemented in me what it actually means in practical terms. So really, I don't wish to undo those regrets of mine, because I feel like they're truly part of me today as a person. So I was really like at
mm-hmm.
first, damn, I guess I don't wish for anything. But then I tried thinking in terms of practical terms, because one of the first wish granters is like, hey, could you reintroduce into the world this species of bush that has disappeared, please? Pretty please? It was really cool when it was there. Just make a whole bunch of them, and we walk from there. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, man, let's do it. So I tried thinking more in those terms. And I was like, okay, what if I could speak with animals? Like in D&D, you have the skill to talk with animals. But then I thought of it and I was like, we kind of already do. We communicate with them stuff. And if we listen, they communicate stuff to us. I don't think either being able to speak with animals or wishing that animals could speak like us is actually a meaningful wish, because I think
I
they already do.
yeah, I would hate that. I would
Yeah,
absolutely hate that because I don't want to know what my cats think of me. I want to just believe that they love me. Uh, I don't
they
want
love
them to
you.
tell me. I don't want them to
You
tell me
don't.
to fuck off.
You don't. Oh, they would absolutely tell you to fuck off. But from
Yeah.
what you've told me, they do love you. Don't worry.
Yeah. I do wish they could tell me like I'm acting weird because I have a hairball and I'm fine. I do wish they could tell me that.
Yeah. Okay.
But other than
That's fair.
that, I enjoy the level of communication we have.
Okay. I that validates what I'm thinking, but also I didn't think of the herbal thing. That's absolutely true. Um.
Mhm.
So I was thinking along those lines. Okay. Um, what do I wish about animals then? And then it made me think of, well, becoming vegetarian, because it's like it's something I've been thinking about a lot. Like, I don't think
Mhm.
animals should be farmed and butchered. like that they feel live, that there are some animals that have been conditioned to live with humans for centuries. Sure. That they have to be taken care of, that they have to live together, that whatever. That's like okay. I don't think roosters would be happier in the wilds. That's insanity. But I don't think that should be butchered. But at the same time, I like meat. I like dishes with meat. One of my favorite dishes have meat in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly believe that, you know, and after, you know which guy I'm talking about. You know, there is a wish renter that asks specifically about that.
Yeah.
But what their solution is, could you please remove the souls from animals? I can't see their souls in their eyes when I look at them. I don't feel that way for fishes, and roosters are kind of in between. And I get it, you know? I don't think it's a soul thing. I think it's more of a mammal things that are able to look into, you know, our vast history, branching things of like, oh, mammals come at the same, deep down from the same place, and so we are able to identify life in each other more than in other more distant species. But that guy's solution is fucking awful, because what he asks is that you remove the soul from all animals so that he doesn't feel bad about eating them.
Yeah, I also, like, that was another monkey's paw thought process for me where I'm like, you're a fucking animal, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think of that. You're right. Yeah.
Also, I'm not removing Cheddar's soul. My little boy.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
My little boy needs to have his soul.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but before we even got to that guy, I ended up finding my answer to the wish I would want. I want there to be a new species of plants that are like potatoes-like, in that their fruits grow in the soil, but those fruits have the same taste and consistency as the different meats we are used to today. Pork, lamb, cows, chicken, whatever. But they're potato adjacent and they grow into the ground. And that's it. And that way, we don't need to do this highly unprofitable farming model we have today to enjoy meat.
Mm-hmm.
And also, we don't have to slaughter animals, because pigs and cows are cute and sweet. And yeah, that would be my wish.
What about dairy, though?
Hmm?
Like milk and cheese? You still gotta, like... The cows still gotta live, like, torturous lives to be milked.
Damn, I need to learn more about this stuff, because I never really thought about it. But I already knew that the way we're doing it is, like, on an industrial level, is awful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that's like why... I think, like, I'm not either, but I think if you're going vegetarian and not vegan, then it's like, you're kind of not, you may as well not be. Because, like, at least the meat cows get an out. The dairy cows have to fucking live that life.
Jesus, I never thought about it that way. I was like... because I've grew up around people that had... Like, I went to farms. I saw cows and chickens that were plenty happy, you know, laying their little eggs and being milked once in a while. But yeah, of course, it makes sense.
Yeah, but those aren't megacorp farms.
That I've never thought about this deep of hell, this fucking ditch. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I hope that the bringing down capitalism, wish granting thing that I would have done if I had made that shot would have fixed this other issue in a sideway manner. But
so,
and my other wish I thought about that I really struggled with choosing between the one I suggested, which is much more selfish, was bringing back dinosaurs to life, at least a few species. Yeah.
Monkey's paw, man. Monkey's paw.
I mean,
haven't you seen honestly, Jurassic Park?
I mean, no, not even Jurassic Park. Think about like bringing back to life fucking Diplodocus, our forests wouldn't survive it. Introducing diplodocus in the wilds currently with no natural predators for them? Jesus, that is literally some world-ending disaster thing.
You're just trying to live out your modern. You're just trying to live out your modern Monster Hunter story fantasy, where hunting the monsters is good actually because we're saving the environment.
Jesus fucking Christ! I have so much to talk about in our next quarterly quick play. But to address your question, I don't love. I don't want to bring back dinosaurs because I love Monster Hunter. I love Monster Hunter because I love dinosaurs. Okay.
Yeah.
That's in that order. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the end of my tangent. If you want to move things along to the final night.
Well, I think like I'm interested in talking about your philosophy when deciding what to grant and what not to grant. Now that you mention, because you basically presented a selfless wish and a selfish wish. And that was basically how I was deciding for a while, was like the thing that's really interesting about the decision making that they kind of make you go through is that you can go into it with a philosophy in mind, but you also have to grant a certain amount of wishes to even make it possible to land the shot in the cauldron. So at some point you have to start accepting selfish wishes. Because at first I was like,
at that point, it feels like I accepted a lot more than you did.
Well, by selfish I don't mean like. Well, I'll get to that. So the first one, like the first wish was like, I want it to rain more, we need it. And I was like, yeah, that's good for everybody. Second wish was the one you were talking about, to bring back that extinct bush that has like pretty flowers on it. And I was like, yeah, that would be good for everybody. I accepted it. Third wish was for a guy who wanted his head to be beautiful and bald, and I declined that because that only benefits him.
What the fuck? Why?
Because I was going into it thinking like this is a wish, a purely selfish wish. Not selfish in the sense that it harms anyone else, but that they're only wishing for something for themselves. So,
well, Jacob, who's being selfish now?
Yeah, I'm playing God, just like the anti-spiral. And then it was like, even then, there was like fourth wish was for like their parents to get along. I denied that because it was a selfish wish, and so on and so forth. But then I was like, man, I'm not getting any fucking hair for my slingshot, so I needed to start thinking like, sure, this is a technically selfish wish, but who's it hurting? So like someone wished for a cool pink cat, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, pink cat, have it.
Yeah.
And so that like I kind of had to alter, but then I started accepting a lot of those where it was like, where if it was a selfish wish for just something that's pretty neat, I would accept it. But like, you know, someone wished to become a rock star and I declined that. Someone wished to be like a superhero and I declined that. One was like, I wish for aliens to be revealed, and I was like, fuck yeah, that would be good for everybody. So I accepted that.
What? You accepted that?
There's a really... I mean, yeah, why not?
I'll tell you... Oh, I'll tell you why not. But I'll tell you my thinking philosophy afterwards.
Okay. And then there was then I got like tossed a couple really easy accepts for me. One was like make gender irrelevant, easy accept, and the follow-up one was to get rid of religion. That's kind of an easy accept for me. And then I found that, because I think there's like almost 30, no, there's 25 wishes. And by the time I got to like the like that religion one, I basically didn't need to accept any more. And at that point I was actually kind of scared to accept more, because afraid that it would like make the slingshot too powerful and I wouldn't be able to hit the cauldron anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then all the wishes after that for the most part were stuff I wouldn't have accepted anyways. So like the last wish is literally to create hell and send a person there.
I was like, fuck
And I
no,
was
man.
It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But there are some interesting philosophical, like trolley problem ass ones, like the cancer one we talked about. One of them was like, I want to free my daughter of the suffering I've caused her, but also I want to be spared of the consequences for causing her suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And that one I declined. One, kind of mechanically, because I was afraid of making my slingshot stronger, but also because I was like, I want to free your daughter of her suffering too, but like you don't have to have a wish granted for that. You can just free your daughter, and deal with
Mm-hmm.
the consequences. Kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, where like a lot of people's wishes are can basically just be granted by the fact that they're wishing it in the first place. And that is,
Mm-hmm.
I think, one of them is like you can just make that decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. It's really interesting seeing your take on those. Like sometimes we cross and sometimes we go very different paths.
Mm-hmm.
My wish granting philosophy was, um, is it going to first affect someone else? Like, are you going to break someone else's reality? Like an easy one to decline for me was, someone wanted someone else to fall in love with them.
Oh yeah, I
Fuck
declined
you.
that right away.
Like no, of course not. That's not how this works.
Uh
You clearly feel strongly about that person. You can declare your love yourself. Um, the selfish ones I granted simply because, like, okay, it's your life. It's not affecting anyone else. You want the perfect bald head thing? Fuck it, we ball.
Let me be
Um,
clear. Let me be clear. I would have 100% granted the beautiful bald head had I already converted to granting selfish wishes that didn't harm anyone else. But
yeah,
I
yeah, you
hadn't
made that
gotten there
clear.
yet.
Don't worry. Yeah. Um. Oh fuck! You were talking. I was thinking about it while you were talking about it, but now there are so many wishes. I'm lost to where to start.
The aliens?
The aliens. So, for example, the aliens one. Fuck no, I didn't grant that wish. Why? Because if, like, his specific wish was to make aliens show themselves to us. So I think that the way that wish works is that if there aren't aliens, they won't show themselves, because that's the wish doesn't make aliens exist. If they
Mm.
do exist and they haven't shown themselves to us, it implies that they could, but that they won't. And I can think of plenty of good, valid reasons why they wouldn't want to show themselves and make contact with another species, especially like the humans.
That's very fair. I guess I wasn't really thinking of it on that level. I was thinking of it in the sense that like uh it like there's already aliens and like the government is covering it up and I just want the government to stop covering it up.
Fucking Americans.
I was there in Rockwell. I saw the little green man.
Thank you for your Alex Jones impression.
I also said Rockwell, but it was Roswell. I'm sorry, everybody.
No, that makes the Alex Jones impression even more authentic.
Good.
The one with the daughter, I accepted it out of purely practical terms. So the guy has like locked away his daughter for like 15 years. So she's now 15. She's grown outside of the world, completely out of reality, and he wants to fix that, but he's afraid of facing the consequences. Um, and I would be absolutely agree with you in that, like, oh, then I don't need to grant you your wish because his wish is specifically to have the strength to release his daughter. And like, I would absolutely agree with you. Hey, fuck you. Free her and suffer the consequences. That's what you should do. I was afraid of the bad scenario where the guy is a nutcase and he procrastinates until the end of his life, and his daughter grows way too old.
Mm-hmm.
So I accepted it of being like, okay, I don't care about this dude's mental health or whatever, or that he won't suffer the consequences. I just want the daughter to be safe, because that's an insane story that person just shared with me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's like, it's not obvious, because as you said, you're afraid, always when granting those wishes, you're always afraid of that fucking monkey paw. Like, for example, okay, the two other ones I wanted to talk about that you granted no hesitation, that I didn't, the gender thing. The gender thing was a weird one. I thought a lot about it before denying it.
Okay.
I denied it because, like, I thought about it in terms of, like, for example, racism. Okay, no distinction between races whatsoever. Yeah. Does it mean we forget about our history with racism? Like, do we just undo the people's past suffering? And when it comes to gender, what does it mean with feminism? Like, in nowadays, that fight hasn't been won yet. Does it mean we just forfeit it? I mean, I make it sound a bit grandiose, but I was just mostly worried about, like, I don't know, it felt wrong to erase the concept of gender that we are currently using, even though it is bullshit, but it's like, you know, we use he, him pronouns and we distinguish between they, them, she, him, and he, him, and that's good. Like, we're working towards something. And maybe the good end conclusion is that we don't care about gender anymore at all, and we rewrite our own languages to reflect that. That would make me feel good about the gender not being distinguished anymore. Wish, but it's just that I was like, it's going to affect too many people at once. The multiple powers here are too strong. I don't want to grant that. But maybe I'm a bit of a coward on that note. The religion one, though, I said no pretty quickly. You're probably wondering why the fuck.
I mean, we've never talked about it. Are you religious?
I'm not, but I grew up in your. I don't know. I grew up Christian Catholic, like in a Catholic family. I've been baptized, but I never went to church every month or even every year sometimes. Like,
Right.
it was it's a family thing that we do when there is marriage or stuff. And it's like, oh, we are Catholics, but we don't really practice it. It's your average shit-lib Western Christian Catholic family situation, I think. Conservative.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I grew up in France. And in France, when Islamophobia is being brought up, the common argument is like that Islam is a religion of savages. And like, there is this thing in medias that a recurring theme is in media is like, hey, look, these people are being fanatics about their religion, and that's bad. And it took me a while to realize that it wasn't always referring to the war of religions going on in Europe, but sometimes it's just straight up dog whistling for religions that are deemed savages. And it's something that I love Jacob Geller for, is that at some points in one of his videos or in the Minmax podcast, I think it was in the Minmax podcast, and I don't remember in what games he was talking about, but he said like, oh, it's good that we stop talking negatively about religions. It wasn't in the Minmax podcast. It was on his videos about Hollow Knight Silksong. And he talked about religion and belief. And I so much vibed with that, because it's like there is a fine line between being like there is a debate to be had about the nature of religion, how they were used, and how they are used nowadays to manipulate people, which is true. But then there is also how it is dog dog whistling for racism, and that and what really cemented my decision on this one to refuse that wish to make disappear religions is that past year and this year, we've really seen a rise of the neoliberate with Trump's election. And we see so many of those weird fucking assholes that are converts, that literally convert in a religion to gather social tokens. And it's like, at this point, I can't even say that it's religion that's the problem, but that it's just the vector for power. And that when same said nutcases don't give a shit about their religious representative, namely the Pope, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm on the side of the Pope on this one. It's like, it's so fucking weird, but my conclusion was like, no, people's religions and culture shouldn't be erased because of the power struggles and mechanics. I don't think it's so hard. Like, religion is used as a weapon to gather masses and to weaponize people's beliefs and like in the power mechanics and politics. So removing that weapon from the overall arsenal would be good, I guess, question mark. But I do genuinely believe that the people that are in the wrong are the shitheads weaponizing it in the first place and not the weapon itself. And I don't think all religions are meant as weapons. I think that if anything, erasing all religions is getting rid of what little remains of the little religions that have just grown up with humanity. I've talked earlier about how making wishes basically erases them from history, and this is really a big one where I was like, no, religions are too much part of humanity and too much part of our current culture, and just erasing them and creating it today just felt wrong.
For sure. I mean, I think I think we're mostly in agreement on that, to the point where until the very end of your speech right there, I'm like, yeah, but you're arguing for removing religion because like of all the power dynamics and stuff you bring up, and like it being used as a weapon and as a bargaining chip and as a status element. Like that's what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of removing it. And I like, I'm happy you bring up Jacob Geller also because like I've felt like in the last year or two a kind of desire to reconnect with my like Judaic roots. You know, like I've grown up not religious whatsoever, but have experienced like Judaism here and there, because like my mom's side of the family is historically Jewish. So, you know, we celebrate the holidays not in a very religious way, but in a let's eat the kind of foods you eat during this section. And then like especially, you know, the way Jacob Geller talks about like Judaic history and the kind of texts that are representative of it and everything. It always makes me kind of wish that I was maybe a little more into Judaism. A really weird movie that made me like man I wish I was more Jewish was this pretty mid Seth Rogen movie called An American Pickle. But that I won't get into. It's a stupid fucking comedy where like he plays both himself and like his great grandfather who fell into a pickle vat and was like preserved through time, like almost cryogenically, but because he was being pickled. But there's this weirdly like beautiful bit towards the end of the movie where modern Seth Rogen has to reconnect with Judaism. And I was like, damn, I mean, it's kind of making me want to do that too. But I don't know. I mean, part of it is that, like, yes, everything you said, but also this is like a game where I don't have to suffer the consequences of of removing it necessarily. Because I think, like, yeah, like I strongly agree with what you say about, like, that would be removing a lot of culture from the world potentially, and that's not something I want. But it's like a scale, you know, it's another fucking trolley problem. It's like, do
Mm.
I think do I think all of the negative parts of it, like removing those, outweighs the positives of it? And I
Mm.
personally think, yeah, slightly. Maybe not extensively, but slightly. And slight enough to the point that I think you could make an argument to not do it, because the world we already live in is the one where all that is in play. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, if I'm only making a moderate improvement to the world, then maybe it's worth not doing it at all, to not lose all of the good that comes with it. Cuz I'm not even, like, completely atheist anymore. I spent most of my life firm atheist, firm, like, hater of religion in general. But I've kind of come around as I've gotten a bit older to be more, like, agnostic, but more in a way where, like, the universe is fucking insane, and, like, sure, there's a god, probably. Maybe there's a creator, maybe there's a group of creators, or whatever, just because of how insane everything is. Uh, like, but I also think that if that's true, I can't imagine any of them give a shit about me specifically. And I
Mm-hmm.
think, like, the giving a shit about the individual specifically is where, like, almost every negative aspect of religion comes into play. Um like, and you know, I'm a guy in my 20s. I know everything about the world. So I'm really qualified
Yep.
to talk about, like, I'm really qualified to talk about what God thinks about everything. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I think, like, I'd like to see a world where none of the downsides of religion have ever come into play, and maybe, you know, maybe something else would have taken its place in terms of what you were talking about with, like, it being a dog whistle for, like, race, essentially, like Islam being a dog whistle, like, stuff like that. Maybe it would have just taken place as normal racism, and they just wouldn't have the excuse anymore that they're that they're not being racist. But I think, like, removing that dog whistle is kind of a positive thing. Like, I think if you just have to be honest with what your intentions are, then that's probably for the better. But
Mm.
but
I can see that argument,
I
but
also grew up,
yeah.
like, really surrounded by, like, LGBTQ people, and, like, I'm not necessarily one myself, but I don't know, like, there's no valid excuse if you don't have God telling you it's a sin
I think I think
to be a hater.
well, here's the thing. I That's a good point, but it's also one that I'm like I've questioned as I grew up because, well, I've told you, like, I have from an average Christian Catholic
Yeah.
conservative family, but also it's weirdly matriarchal. I don't know how it happened, but basically most of the, like, it's mostly men that are marrying into the family than the opposite, and so it's mostly, like, the people that are from the main branch are mostly women. And there is in that family, one of those is married to another woman, and they're gay, and they're acknowledged as such. when they've been introduced to my sister like 20 years ago, she was told, "Oh, they're best friends." But like 10 or 15 years later, they were like, "Oh no, they're in couple." Like, so I don't know if it was a child thing or
Yeah.
that they've changed their mind in the meantime. But like it was normal for them at the very least. It was normally acknowledged, and like I just don't think in our modern world seeing like seeing religion in theory representing what religion is in practice to religious people, I think is very false. But in a way that I would need to determine, because again, guy in his 20s talking from his room on a podcast. It's a topic that reminds me that, you know what, I don't know that much about the world. And I like that this game makes me think about this stuff. For guys from a team that in their own videos they say that they feel limited by the English language to like say the stuff they want to say and to be charismatic and stuff. You know what? They make me think a lot. Their writing made me think a lot more than all of the rest of the video games.
Yeah, they said that in that video, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, I get their point where, because part of that point was that they like may accidentally engage in ableism by saying like crazy or insane or whatever, because like they don't have that kind of lingual context with those words.
As a French person, I've never heard that take. What do you think?
I don't know. I am deciding to abstain from having a take on whether crazy and insane are ableist or not, because they probably are, but also I don't know. You know,
Yeah. Like 95% of the insult. I mean, 90% of the insults in French are sexist. The other 8% are homophobic. The other 1% is ableist.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, but it's like, I mean, at some point I'm like,
you gotta.
I gotta trash talk a motherfucker.
I think I also think you have to choose your battles, and I don't know if removing crazy and insane from my vocabulary is a battle I can choose.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I could. Maybe it would be easy. But I also, when I think of crazy or insane, I'm not even thinking about, like, a mentally ill person. I'm thinking of, like, a fucking supervillain from, like, a comic, you know?
Yeah. that would only appear in comics. Only appear in comics. Never come up in real life. People that are so comically evil, they may as well be in a bad cartoon where they will be criticized for making comically evil villains. Mm-hmm.
Should we move on? We've once again been recording for longer than it takes to play this goddamn game.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It's the 11th game. We are getting close to it. There are still 10 more games to go. And what are the time to record? Good lord, 1 minute, hour and 20 minutes.
And we haven't even finished talking about this one. So I want to just like, I think there's really only a couple things I want to bring up to finish up Many Nights a Whisper. That being one, the last person. Well, actually, you know what? Fuck, I really wanted to talk about the point where we were talking about religion, where that most of the times, almost every time, when someone is like giving you their wish, your only interactivity with them is, do you cut their braid and grant their wish, or do you not? But for that religion one, you actually have the option to speak up and talk to them and be like, aren't we doing a kind of religious thing right now? And that was really interesting to me to think about too. But that's more just like, I think that was a cool moment. Oh yeah, I said that. And he was like, yeah, fuck, I guess you're right.
Fuck
Um,
it. Fuck it. Let's get rid of it that too. And I was like, no,
yeah.
fuck you, man.
um, but I don't know. That was part of why I accepted it too, because I was like, this clearly for the dreamer, especially based on what we're about to talk about with the mom showing up. This was clearly like not something that they went into willingly. Maybe they were grateful for it by the end, but this seems like a weird cycle of imprisoning people for a decade or two of their lives to make this shot. And maybe it would be good to remove that, and then if people have a wish, they have to make it come true themselves. Um, but you know, that's whatever. We've dwelled on this for long enough. Uh,
Yeah.
so to move on, the last person to show up is your mom, and she is basically like, I'm sorry for what I've put you through. I'm sorry that like I didn't, not using her exact words because I'm just going off of memory here. Like, I'm sorry I didn't care enough for you to like basically she's apologizing for abandoning you, and like
She gives the excuse that like she was in a phase of her life where she couldn't take care of a kid,
yeah.
and having someone else take care of her was her way forward, and it may as well be the temple for the wish thing. Her wish, she grew up her braid so that you could get your own wish. Basically, she hacked the system so that the dreamer can have their own wish. Because whatever wish you are going to say as the daughter, she is going to make it her own wish.
So, did you accept it? Did you accept the wish?
Oh yeah, I forgave her. Because this is going to be a running theme in the future games we're going to talk about, but they've really kind of zeroed in on my family situation. And in this case, my mom is someone that was really busy with work, and that wasn't really there in the house most of the time. But she still, through thick and thin, she was still with us, and she still is keeping contact with us today, me and my sister. So yeah, I no questions asked. I forgive you. Is what I did.
Nice. I didn't acknowledge her at all.
Bruh. Bruh.
I mean, I think like we have kind of similar relationships to our moms. However, mine also sent me away to a fucked up temple to be imprisoned for a period of time. And
yeah, I'm pretty sure her mom. Okay, no, I gotta correct you on that. I'm pretty sure my mom would have never done that, and I can't but think that our current relationships with our mom is. I mean, maybe our current dynamics are the
our
same.
current relationships, I think, are pretty similar. Because you know, I'm on good terms with my parents right now. You know, we talk regularly. I'm gonna go see her tomorrow. It's Mother's Day, and we're gonna have a good time. And I think, you know, maybe I should have forgiven her in the game.
No, you should never forgive someone. Like should and forgive don't go together, ever.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point for sure. I think it's more like I mean, in real life, I have a weird relationship where I accept that one, they were a victim in this too. You know, to recap for those who haven't listened to any of our previous episodes, I was a victim of the troubled teen industry. When I was 14, my parents sent me away to a variety of mental health quote unquote programs that basically fix your kid for you. And these are incredibly abusive. I could spend forever going into this. If you want some good material, I recommend the Lost Kids podcast. You can find it on Spotify and YouTube, I think. There's a Netflix documentary called The Program. and the places I went to were very similar to these. Mine, those had a lot of like direct physical abuse. Mine had very little physical abuse, but it was more like it was really mental and emotional abuse. These programs are literally designed off of the practices of the cult known as Sidu. I don't know what CEDU is an acronym for, but you know, the programs talked about in the podcast and that documentary, as well as the one I went to, were all based on this cult practice. Um, so, anyways, I acknowledge too that like my parents were a victim in this as well as I was. You know, these programs prey on parents who don't know what to do with their kid who is clearly struggling, clearly going through stuff. Um, and they manipulate the parents and the kids into creating this false reality where everything seems like it's good. It seems like they're really making your kid a more complete person. But part of that is that you cannot be honest with your parents about what is happening at the program, what you are going through, and how you feel about it. Um, Despite the fact that they push you to be honest with your feelings all the fucking time, except for when it's not good for them. So you know,
Jesus.
and it's like these are not cheap programs. I come from a pretty privileged, well-off family. You know, this program cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to send me to. So you know, my parents were scammed not only of 2 years of their child's life, but hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I acknowledge that, and I feel bad for them that, you know, they got scammed too, but I'm the one that fucking paid for it. I'm the one that suffered through it. So while, you know, they're human, they made a mistake, I accept that. And in many ways, I do forgive them. But there's also a part of me that never fucking will, and I don't think ever can.
Mm-hmm.
And so I chose the prompt to just straight up not acknowledge your mom at that moment. Not even like fuck you, go away, or I forgive you. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I even have the exact words I could say to explain why I felt that that was the best option for me. But part of it was like, I don't want to accept the braid so that I can have my own wish because I don't feel like that's the point of all this. Part of it was just the like, no, I can't forgive you for what you did to me, even if in reality I am on good terms with my parents in the moment. Like, I still, cause also like the dreamer is still there. They're still in the program. And I know, like, if I wasn't forced to interact with my family on good terms in order to get out of the program, I would have not acknowledged them one bit. There was a while in my life afterwards where, like, if I wasn't dependent on them, like, financially and just, you know, in like a resource way,
Yeah,
I would have not talked to them whatsoever. At this point, I'm glad that I have, because, you know, we have a relatively good relationship now. But that was part of it too, is I was like, what would I have done if my mom presented her braid to me while I was still there? And it is to just not acknowledge her, because I wouldn't have wanted to give her the satisfaction of either being told to fuck off or being told that she was forgiven. Yeah. So yeah, that was that. That's what I picked for that.
I think it's really beautiful how those games like kind of Like, because to me, it felt weirdly uncanny how targeted I felt. But now that you've told me
Uh-huh.
this whole story, I'm like, yeah, that also perfectly works in this context. Like, and I'm sorry you had to go through all this shit. I think, again, I've maintained my point that no one should ever forgive, like, forgive and should that do not go together.
Yeah. Um so all that being said, let's get to the last night, shall we?
Yeah.
So how'd you miss? I just want to know what your practicing process was.
Motherfucker, I don't know. For one, maybe one of my failed thing is that I practice with the full power shot, which is blue, with your hand turning blue.
Oh, I didn't accept enough wishes to get that to happen.
Jesus Christ. So I'm thinking this may have to do with it because once you are at that point, you don't lob it. It's almost goes straight.
Okay.
So I think it has a bit something to do with that. But my training process was like, okay, I'm not going to overtrain this because I know what happens when you over rehearsal at the theater or whatever. I just need to get it right a few times. So basically what I did is like I will take a solid landmark in the staging in 3D. It was like the third bar in the barrier in front of the big cauldron,
Uh-huh.
and I would place myself there. I would make 2 or 3 shots. I would basically practice until I got the shots right. Then I would make 2 more, 3 more. Then I would walk out, walk back in, do a few more. And I did that like I would say for 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe 10 minutes is really exaggerating. I think I did it for 5 minutes tops. I was really in the mental of like, don't overtrain, you've got this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the night came, really dramatic, with Inside of the Night and the drums and the dress, the red dress that you're being given. Like, I really had my heart pounding. And I was like, okay, don't worry about it, you got this. And I did the same things as I did before. And my shot went way too far to the left and a bit too far down.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, like thinking back on it, I think I should have taken a breather before making that shot and like just one deep breath and re-examining my position because maybe I was too focused on the like I don't want to overthink this. If I overthink this, I will miss.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how it went. I
Damn.
missed that shot.
So mine was really mechanical. And to the point where it being night almost fucked me up really bad. I actually was really nervous, and I also like turned the brightness up as high as it could go before
So
I took
funny.
my shot because have you ever done figure drawing? Like where you have a model in front of you and you have to sketch them?
I did, yeah. For a bit.
Okay,
It was
so
during art school, but like really not a lot.
I did a couple figure drawing classes, and one of the things that they really teach you in that is to figure out proportions by lining up like different parts of the body to each other. So like if a person is standing facing you directly and you want to know like how to get their proportions right, the eyes line up with the nipples. If they're facing you straight up, like eyes line up with nipples. It just stuff like that is like, all right, so I want to know you know, if I want to get their pose correct, I got to really think about like the way they're posed right now, their elbow is lined up perfectly with their knee, just the way that they're standing right now. Okay, so I'm going to go and make sure I do that. So I basically plotted my shot as if I was figure drawing. So I picked a tile on the ground that you stand on that I would go to stand every single time. And I picked a landmark off in the distance that I would line up my elbow with, to the point where I'm not even looking at the cauldron. I'm looking at the distance between my elbow and the the what the fuck did I just say? The landmark off in the distance. So that was like in the left section there's like a mountain and there's some trees that stick off from the mountain. So I'm going to go stand on that spot and I'm going to make sure my elbow lines up to be like a few inches up from the tree. And so when it was nighttime, I could not fucking see that tree. And so that's when I started stressing the fuck out because it's like dark back there,
No
so you
shit.
can't see
Yeah.
it. So I go up to my square, I turn the brightness all the way up, still can barely see the tree, but when I squint just hard enough, I can just barely see the outline of the tree, and I line up my shoulder or my elbow with what I think is the tree that I need. And I take the shot, and you just have to stand there watching it fly through the sky. Like, and I'm
Yep.
standing there, and like you said, my heart is fucking beating. Like, oh no, was it the right tree? Did I make it? And you have to sit there for like a solid 20 seconds as it flies through the sky, and then eventually, boom, it goes in. The confetti goes off, everyone's cheering, and I'm like, oh, thank fucking God.
Damn. I need to play the game again and make that shot.
Hell yeah, it
What
felt so
happens if you
good.
don't make it is like at first there is a like the girl you're playing as, I can't remember her name.
I think they just call
she
you the
drops-
dreamer. I don't know if they have a name.
Your mom calls you by your name,
Oh, that's right.
but I forgot it because like it's literally one line.
Yeah.
Damn, I can't believe we haven't mentioned the mentor at all. The mentor rules. Anyway,
Yeah, the mentor is really cool.
go play the game yourself. What happens when you miss that shot is like you drop on your knees, and there is a shake effect, and it's like the title said like the words, the narrator, quote unquote, like it doesn't. There's no. It's not an inside monologue thing, but it kind of is, and it goes like the calamity. And at first I'm like, oh shit, did the world just end? And then it's like it goes back to normal, the shaking. It's just your girl is devastated, and you don't hear anything. It's like it calls it like, oh, there is a deafening silence. You cannot even say if everyone is screaming or are just stunned. But it does give something satisfying where it says like, you're like, it says at first very kind of accusingly, you're done, this is done, this is over. This like everyone has waited 10 years for this pitiful spectacle. But then it says at the very end also like, but a little part of you, a little throb in your bones can't help itself to think you're done. Finally.
Yeah.
You're free.
That the night before the final day has a line that I thought was really cool, like relating to that, where it's like where your life ends tomorrow. Whatever comes after will happen to a different person.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so cool because it's like, yeah, like after the ceremony, one, you're done. Like it said, everything you've been through is over. And from now on, you're either the savior of all the people who wished for their wish to be granted, and you're the granter of their wishes, or you're the fucking loser who missed the shot and made everyone miserable.
Yeah.
But either way,
Yeah.
you get to move on with your life. And
Yeah.
that I thought was like, because that was basically, I don't remember exactly what they said as the congratulatory thing, but it also ends similarly with a like, yeah, you get to move on now, it's over.
Yeah. I don't know, game rules.
Game fucking rules. Go play it.
Don't have any. Yeah, go play it. Unlike the other, ironically, unlike the other games on Aces and Empathy, this one you don't really have a reason to go play it again, except if you miss that shot.
I think it would be interesting to experiment. Like, one, I think it would be cool to see what happens if you grant every single wish. Because, like, I kind of want to see, like, what are the dreams you have that are different based on the wishes you grant. I think
Right.
you could
Yeah, the
also
dreams are a
go
good
through it
good
in a
thing.
role playing sense where like maybe I'm a person who does think that that person should go get revenge on someone and kill them once their cancer is cured. Maybe I'm someone who would only grant the really selfish wishes and see what happens there. Maybe it because of my mom placing me there, I'm rebellious and have chosen to make this system as bad as it could possibly be by only granting the shitty wishes. But
Damn.
also, I
Yeah.
think it would be. I want to see like what would happen if I grant no wishes. Like you literally couldn't make it into the cauldron, but I would be interested in seeing like if the game has anything to say about that.
Hmm. Yeah. Man.
And it's a short game. You could do it.
Yeah. Agreed.
So now it is time to move on to essays on empathy, which came out a good amount of time before Many Nights a Whisper, but you know, it just felt right to talk about Many Nights a Whisper first. I also think we maybe mutually thought we had less to talk about for this game than we ended up talking about because we wanted we wanted the grand finale to be like the final game of the collection of essays on empathy. Um, but I guess
Those who do not learn from history end up repeating.
we be repeating it. I keep telling my fiance before we go into these recording sessions. Oh, this one won't take that long. Last week with Red Strings Club, that was like 5 hours because our recording was only 3.5, edited down to 3. But we also spent like well over an hour planning it, which is new to us. We've been planning things a bit more.
Yeah, we just went fuck it we ball before, and that shows.
it worked in some ways, did not work at all in some others. I think our first season, all things considered, pretty good. Second season, pretty ass. Third season, we'll see. Um, so let's go into it. I think there's a lot to say about some of these games in this collection and not much to say about some of the others. One of those there's not much to say about is the first game in the collection, which is Underground Hangovers. So this is I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting on a game design conceptual level. It's like a pseudo Metroidvania where you are diving into this cave and you have like a kind of interesting rope mechanic, and you need to collect gems essentially. I just think like the thing that's really cool about this game is that it takes part in the Gods Will Be Watching universe. You're working for, pretty sure you're working for the Constellar Federation, right?
Yep, they directly mention it.
Yeah. That's about all I have to say about this one. I didn't bother finishing it because I could not be asked to figure out how to deal with the dogs or do the... You're basically just trying to repair a ship or something by getting these gems underground, and you could go find all the gems in new areas if you can manage to get your rope thing to work. Or since the gems respawn when you leave the cave, you could just dive down and get the same few gems over and over again. And I didn't really feel like doing either of those.
Yeah, it's to me this game is interesting. I think I would have tried and put more time into it to try and finish it if I had more time. But I basically played all those games back to back in the weekend before the recording. I think what's interesting to me about this game, as someone that like really playing essays on empathy makes me want to make video games again, because as we said, these are basically game jam games. And what is clear to see with this first game, Underground Hangovers, is that it is one of their first games, and I can see that the developers was like, oh well, for a first game I'm going to make a platformer. All the original scene, the original
Yeah.
mistake, thinking that Mario and Sonic are like, oh, those are ancient games, so they were easy to make. Wrong, wrong, motherfucker. You've just put yourself through the fucking. Oh yeah, I'm just going to make a character make jump. Okay, you have to do one, have physics. Two,
Uh-huh.
have a collision map. These are two of the hardest things to make a nail in a game.
That is such an interesting point about this that I hadn't thought about until just now. But I mean, like, barring the 40 other games on itch that I haven't played or know much about, it is like a really interesting thing where you go from Gods Will Be Watching, which was their first game, which is a point and click adventure game, and I think, like, in many ways kind of mishandled, but like really elevated by the writing and the vibe and everything. And they went from that to, all right, let's make a quote unquote real game, which is like a Metroidvania with platforming and everything. And then from then on, every other game they've made has been a point and click adventure game, and I wonder why.
Wait, did Gods Will Be Watching come before or after? I mean, did they make Gods Will Be Watching before or after Underground Hangovers? Let me
Yeah, it's
check.
before. Underground Hangovers came after. They talk about it in
Okay,
the
then never
video.
mind. Yeah, and it's like it's funny because also you mentioned in the video how like they walked away from the fail state mechanics and how
Mm-hmm.
like it wasn't suited for them or whatever. But like it's another thing where we mentioned how what the fuck are you talking about? You don't master English. It's like they put so much thought and effort into the failed states of Gods Will Be Watching and how they played into the meta narrative of the game. It's
Yeah.
so good. I mean, I'm glad they went away and did their own thing for the other stuff. But it's like it's so good. They're such a
And
good
they
people at making games, and it goes into sorry, it transitions into my other point, which is like, sure, we are kind of clowning on this game, Underground Hangovers. It masters the macros of game design so well in the way that it's economic and it's not pushing you for a first tutorial, but is making you do a tutorial. Like they went
yeah.
by the book and they did the mistake of making a platformer for the first time and whatever, but they did it well. They did it genuinely, unbelievably well.
Yeah, no, I
For
think,
someone
like,
that
if
did
I
the
was a guy who enjoyed Metroidvanias, I would have stuck it through it. But this is not for this game is I'm not the audience for Underground Hangovers. So I moved
yeah,
on. And it's also like there's a little bit of writing, but what I really think is strong about Deconstructeam is their writing, and there's not much to be found in Underground Hangovers because it's such a more mechanically focused game. So I just
hmm
like, I moved on from that pretty quickly. Um I think the you made a good point too with the fail states in Gods Will Be Watching and how they tie into the meta narrative and everything. But I think they evolved from that in a much more interesting way because you can still fail in their future games, but you have to live with the failure. Whereas
yeah,
I think Gods Will Be Watching is really brutal with how much you fail and how much a failure sets you back. And I think that is really interesting. It how it ties into the narrative and everything. But I think what's even more interesting is how hard you can fail in Red Strings Club and you just have to roll with it.
yep,
Like we talked about, I didn't save Johanna from killing herself. I failed Naima's bartending section so hard I had to go have her tortured, which ended up with her dead, and so I didn't have that resource for me in the final section. And I think that's such a much more interesting way to experience a game. And it's a way that I try my best to always play through like an RPG, like rolling with the failures when I can. Um
hmm
so, I really like that is how they evolved. Is like the fail states are still there, but yeah, you still have to just roll with it and keep going. That being
yeah.
said,
I'm glad
not
that
much of that to be seen in this game.
Yeah, I'm glad they went that way too. It's
Mm.
what just what I wanted to express with God we were watching is that like they committed to the bit more
Yeah,
than,
for
and
sure.
this is why this is one of the things that I want to talk about in this is on empathy is that this team is so dedicated, I think, to making good games despite having very little at the same time means times and also skills because like I don't want to like I found many bugs in many of those games in essays on empathy, and I can tell that the programmer is just not autistic enough. And
Uh-huh.
like I would not have been able to live with certain of the bugs being here, but clearly the programmer is like able to live with it and focused on shipping, and I think it's if you had asked me like a few years ago, I would have been like, this is an objective quality. It's something I need to learn. I need to stop over obsessing every fucking details. Um, and today, I think my take would be like both the autistic programmer and I'm caricaturing here. I'm uh, I'm going to get my fucking ADHD.
Undiagnosed, but pretty sure.
I'm going to get my official diagnosis in a few days now. Actually, damn, time went fast. Um, but anyway, undiagnosed, but pretty sure. Like, I think that I can accept and see today that the stuff I was good at while I was making video games is when I was obsessing over the little stuff, and the stuff that this programmer is clearly good at is moving on from things and focusing on the essential. Because
Yeah.
as we said, even though these games are buggy and shit, they are so good mechanically that like you need to experience them. I need to stress this out. Like if we're going to talk extensively about certain of those narrative games, but no shame on the programming. It's insanely good. It genuinely is because it does what it's supposed to do and it focuses on that. And so my take today would be like both the autistic and non-autistic approach to programming are good because they both try to deliver stuff. It's just different strengths is all. As long as you put love inside your labor, you will come out with something good.
I think that's
You
the other thing to say about that too is that like they literally could not have like gotten all the bugs out because these were all game jam games. They all had very limited development time. So they had to focus on what made the game good rather than just like buffing out the minor things that don't really matter, you know?
mm-hmm. Well, yeah, of course. It's just since they released the set on empathy, it's like I, as the programmer, I would have went back and corriged those bugs just for this version of the game, which is
I guess that's fair.
really insane and shouldn't have. Maybe I wouldn't do that today, especially since I experience this on empathy as is. It's just it's this thing of like I want to solve this thing. I want to know how it works, and I want to solve it. And yeah, like I can't like I don't know. Playing those games, I could tell. I think that if it were me and I was in a game jam settings, the game would have ended up with less content and but with less bugs, but also with really much less content because I would have focused on not the essential stuff.
Yeah. I think there is an interesting point to carry on with that if we want to move on to the next game.
Yeah, I think we should.
So the next game in the collection is Zen and the Art of Transhumanism, which is essentially the prototype version of the Akara pottery section from Red Strings Club. And
Mhm.
just if we're carrying the energy of like weird design decisions based on whether it's buggy or not, there's fucking controller support in this version. Which was so
Yeah,
weird to
but
me.
no mouse support.
But no mouse support. So I played Red Strings Club on my Steam Deck until I got to this pottery section and was like, oh, the Steam Deck version of a mouse is not gonna cut it for the accuracy I need for this pottery wheel. And then like playing this version of it and being like, they implemented controller support in the like not final version of this and it works perfectly. What is going on here? I literally like,
Well,
though this is the second game chronologically, I saved it for last because I was like, I played most of this on Steam Deck dealing with the Steam Deck mouse mode. And I was saving Red Strings Club for last until I just connected a fucking Bluetooth mouse to my Steam Deck. And like I did that and then I was like, wait a minute. This just has controller support and I don't need the mouse. And it's much easier to make these pots with the D-pad than
Yep.
it is even with the mouse. So yeah, there's
I
that.
tell you what happened. Um, they did this initial thing with the controller, so it has controller support and keyboard support. So you're supposed to move the hand with the
Yeah.
keyboard or the controller. But I mean, as someone that played the Wrestling Club the very first time with the mouse, like it felt terribly wrong to me. This version where it was only controller. Sure, it's easier, but it doesn't feel like you're doing pottery and you're micromanaging the things. The reason they did it with
Yeah, that
controller
is
is
that is
one,
true for sure.
to have this precision, and two, because their reset button resetted everything. If you play with a mouse, it's fine that you have imperfect control and stuff because you have a progressive reset button that can allow you to undo the little mistakes
Yeah.
you make. So that's how the thought process went. The thought process went more into the like they decided to prioritize this aspect of retranscribing pottery over the functional gameplay, and I like it better.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the Art of Transhumanism was the weirdest game to me.
I agree. I think the most interesting thing to talk about with these ones that ended up in Red Strings Club is just like the minor differences that happened when they decided to polish it further for Red Strings Club.
Yeah.
Like one of the really interesting things about this one compared to it in Red Strings Club was like in Red Strings Club when you selected what pot you wanted to make, it just like you selected it on the computer and then that is like the mold you have to follow on the wheel. But in this version of the game, you have to like memorize which mold is which pot, and what it does.
Mhm.
And you just like select different molds without the name of what it is. And so that was a kind of interesting thing, but I can definitely see why they would just like cut out the
Yeah.
middleman in that process for Red Strings Club.
Yeah. The most interesting part to me in transhumanism and transhumanism is how the it felt more explicit to me how in this version you are making the people like you are fixing their problem by seeing through their what we talked in the previous episode, like they want a certain things, you give them another thing that is going to indirectly solve the problem. Like
Yeah.
Yakuza wants to beat up another gang, rather than give him a physical augment, you give him a violence inhibition.
Yeah.
But something that I found terribly interesting in this game is that at some point there is a woman that's like she wants to live longer. She is afraid of death and stuff, and she wants to keep delivering for her fans because she's a singer. If you
Yeah.
give her the stuff that's going to make her live longer, she comes back for more. If the final solution is to give her one that's like accepts unconditionally death, and the
Yeah.
message she leaves you at the end makes you think that almost this is her last message and she's about to kill herself.
There
And
were
it's like
there were some interesting ones like that where it feels like the right option was actually just worse for them.
was like what's interesting is that like it makes them suppress their worldly desires but also their worldly fears, and basically at this point what makes them human. Like there is one that's like effectively a self-insert of the developer of the game design. The game
Yeah,
developer
I
one.
was literally just about to bring that up. Yeah, like Yordi is one of the guys, and he's the one that you have to give the pot that removes all of his ambition.
Yeah, and it's like it's literally like removes his drive and his creative spirit. Like it's normal to feel insecure about your art stuff, and even if you do fix it and get a bunch of ambitions, then you get insecure about when comparing yourself to other geniuses and being like, oh, I will never get to be like them. It's all of that is natural, and suppressing them turns them into weird zombies. And
Yeah.
I thought that part in Zen is more explicit and interesting than in the Red Strings Club part, which is not necessarily a critique of the Red Strings Club one, because it is more focused on the story and what's going on with Supercontinent.
Yeah.
It is less interested in these like zombification questions because it wants things to stay more gray and morally acceptable for the player for a while until things escalate.
Yeah, I think it's really more like the Red Strings Club version is more focused on the story to come, whereas this is more focused on being its own thing.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about Zen?
Nope.
Moving on to
Supercontinent.
Supercontinent LTD, the other game that will become a section of Red Strings Club. This is the origin of Brandeis. I it's cool. I don't know. I don't know if I have that much to say about it, honestly. Other than like it's interesting seeing the little bits that would become like more solidified lore, I guess, in Red Strings Club, because like Radika's there. A lot of the names are the same. But it's like the organizations at play are very different than they are in Red Strings Club. Like in this, you're working to like, as they say in the documentary piece about this, abolish the police literally,
Mm-hmm.
which was interesting. And you're like just trying to talk to different people to find out like, you know, where are the bombs, how can I activate or defuse the bombs, like stuff like that.
Yeah. It's an interesting piece of the story, but again, the Red Strings Club version for this one I would say is just objectively better and more engaging.
Oh yeah, it's
Especially with the
vastly
I had to
superior.
look up a guide for the finger the number on the wall.
Oh really? Why?
Yeah. I just didn't see a number there. I was like, oh, this is a
Oh
weird paint mark or
damn,
something.
that was like the first number I called.
Damn.
Um
I really didn't see it. But yeah, don't have anything else to say about it.
yeah, most biggest takeaway I had from it was in the documentary. I finally noticed that they had a copy of Slam Dunk on in behind them, and I was like, hell yeah! Oh, I
Fuck
fucking love Slam Dunk.
yeah. Fuck yeah. And Golasters, January 21st. Oh wait, January? No, 2021 January. I
Yeah,
think is the name of the game. You are the setting of the game is that uh, you're a woman, you're a mother that is like talking about aliens and shit. In some place, I think it's Canada. I'm not sure, but it's in the middle of the
no,
snow.
no, they talk about it in the documentary. I don't remember where it is exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's like another part of Spain.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know there was a part of Spain that could be so heavily in snow. But I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, actually no. I think I know where it could be. It could be in the fucking uh Les Pyrénées. I should look this up. I want to know more about nature. I want to watch nature documentaries again. Playing a season empathy made me want to do that because of what they said in the video on the garden thing,
Uh-huh.
on the garden one. Moving on. So they are in this very isolated place, isolated from the big cities and stuff. and this woman is like talking about conspiracy theories about aliens, basically. Then her son calls her and tells her he's running away from home, and she makes her way to her home in her car to try and catch her son. She gets attacked by aliens. Attacked, I mean, we don't know. She blacks out. She wakes up with a hole in her stomach. She's bleeding out, and you are just thrown into the game at this point. And it's really cool because you have three things to manage. You have so much things to manage.
Yeah.
There is, you want to know more about the aliens stuff, but you also need to fix your son running away from home situation, and you're also bleeding out, and your car has only so much fuel, and so does your phone battery. Um, figure shit out from there.
Yeah. So I think one thing that was really interesting, because I played this a few times. I played it 3 times. The first time is really just a silly anecdote because I was playing it at work and I had to go like do work in the middle of it, and there's no pause functionality in any of these games, so I just bled the fuck out because I had to step away from my Steam Deck too long.
That's so funny.
And so the other one is like there's most of the endings are basically bad as far as I can tell. Like you pretty much have to choose, like, do you fix your family situation or do you fulfill your dream of figuring out what's going on with these aliens? And I don't think you can really do both. You can kind of do a bittersweet version of both, which is the one I did at the very end, which is like you go become a witch because like the aliens are witches or something. If you solve the puzzles and go focus on the aliens, and you can like stop the son running away from home situation, but in doing so and then going and becoming a witch, like your husband kills himself and your son searches endlessly for you and never finds you. So
Damn.
yeah. And then there's also where you solve neither puzzle and you just go home and the family is still bad and you still never learned about the aliens, which was the second ending I got because I just wasn't exactly sure what to do. But yeah, the thing that I think is mostly really interesting about Angelaster to talk about is in the documentary where they talk about how this was when they started wanting to like have a lot more representation in their games. And they literally point out something we had been talking about the whole time we were talking about Gods Will Be Watching, which is that game stars a gruff white straight guy protagonist, and they didn't want to have that in their games anymore. And so you know, you're like a person of color, you're a woman in this game, in Angolaster, and from that point on, like, they just didn't want to feature you know, a cast of characters you would see in anything else anymore. They wanted to incorporate as much representation as they possibly could. And I think like it's cool, especially for a team like this, because I think, you know, we were probably both shithead white boy teenagers at some point. I certainly was,
Yes.
and
I was.
I certainly used to look at a really diverse cast and think like it was purely cynical. And sometimes I still look at a super diverse cast and think of it cynically, in the sense that I know Disney doesn't care. Like, I know that they're only doing it for the money. But that's not something I can say about Deconstructeam, because what fucking money is there for them to make on these free itch.io games? And so I think like their push towards featuring diversity and representation is really strong, and it's actually something I've been talking a lot about in all of my like child development classes I'm in right now, because a lot of them have recently been focused on like kind of, I don't want to say like just inclusivity in general. And so I keep pushing like the my final project for this class I just finished right now was basically just that we had to like pick a children's book that features a theme we talked about in the semester, and I picked like anti-bias education. And there's this book that's really good, like a children's book called Bathe the Cat. I'm pretty sure it's been like one of the books that have been pushed to be banned by the fucking shithead alt-right. Because it's not, it's like not about diversity, but it like just features it so heavily that it's just normal, you know? And I think that's something, that's a point they make, is to just have normalization. Like it's good to make a story about all the diversity, but it's also good to just have it as a normal thing in the world that you're presenting, because that's like seeing representation as normal first is like the step you need to get to like talking about it on a deeper level. And I think I really admire that they looked at their cast of Gods Will Be Watching and decided to not do that again.
Yeah, and also like something that I really thought about strongly while like with Detresse al Quarto is like from what I understand, the you know the Deconstructeam team are there is the developer slash writer, there is the graphic person, and there is the musician.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe the main developer is gay.
He
I don't
says
think.
he's bisexual in the video for Quarto. God damn.
Like okay, and it's like it is. How should I put it? When I think about diversity, when I think about my own stories that I want to tell in the games I would make, I always fear about inclusivity that I'm going to display it for the sake of displaying it, and do it wrong, and do it and just force my own vision of things, which is wrong. And it's like I'm just afraid of this, right?
Yeah.
And like there is something so matter of factly about the gay couple you see in El Cuarto.
Mm-hmm.
There is something so simple, but without being superficial, about the way they are gay, and you can tell they are gay, and it's not a fucking RPG ass bisexual optional bisexual
Yeah.
thing that they have going on. And it's just it makes me realize like, oh no, it's so obvious. You can do it. You need to put in some effort, but it can be done, and you don't need to be weird about it. You just need to try and put your mind to it.
Yep.
And it's like it feels liberating, genuinely.
I agree. And I'm really psyched to talk about that couple, but we gotta
Yeah.
we gotta hold ourselves right back right now. Talk about these other games first.
Do we have something else to say about Tango Lasters?
No, I'm ready to move on. Next up is the one that when I played it, I sent you a message and I was like, heads up, this one's a day ruiner. Uh,
And it sure fucking ruined my day. Jesus.
so this one is Behind Every Great One. And this is a game where you are essentially playing a woman who is stuck in this like just abusive relationship and just having to like deal with the constant stressors of it. And it's not like a really aggressively abusive one at first. Like it's more just like a neglectful one, if that makes sense. You know, like he's
I
not
wouldn't call it neglectful.
I just like at the beginning it's like, you know, he's not hitting you or anything. He's just making little jabs, little like thoughtless jabs at like every little thing, and then like asking you to have sex with him after being an asshole all day. uh and
It's an ordin. It's like what I would describe this abused as ordinary. Like, this is abuse that is being exacted through things that we consider ordinary in a life, in when you live with someone else, not necessarily even in a couple. Like, some of the things that hit me in this game was how the husband would like passively aggressively point to something out that needs to be done in the house,
Yeah.
but not say who would do it. And it's something that I've done and that I thought about not doing as much anymore, because then it makes things worse. But like, it's not the same thing as when, I mean, there is some self-reflection to do here, but what I've come to understand, and this is why I'm pushing back against the neglectful thing, is that this man is very much weaponizing those little things.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just mean like very first day it feels more neglectful, but as
Yeah.
you pile on, it becomes just so much more aggressive and so much worse, and the anxiety builds like so heavily with each like new little thing that fucking gets added to your goddamn life. So basically the way this works is like your husband is like a painter, right? And so he has this big project that he's really excited to work on, and he's holding himself up in his studio that you're not allowed into because it would curse his fucking painting or whatever.
What a fucking insane thing to do.
Yeah.
You live with someone that you love, quote unquote, and you don't let them see your work in progress. And then you say, like, it would curse it if they saw it. What a.
Yeah, so already fucking awful in its own right, but basically it's a day by day structure where like during the day you have like 3 or 4 things you can do, and most of the like half of them at this point are like little chores you can do, and the other half are like little leisurely activities you can do. Like if you go in the office, you can sit on the chair and like read a book. If you go in the other office, because this is a big ass house, you can like just go on the computer. If you go in the living room, you can like just chill on the couch for a while, and then if you go on the patio outside of their bedroom, you can smoke a cigarette. Other than that, there's like you can do the dishes, you can sweep the floor of dust, you can water the plants, you can make dinner, basically. And so, but it's structured in a way where you only have enough actions where even if you do chores all day, your husband will still have something to say about the chore you didn't do.
Yep.
And so, you know, he'll always one say something about the chores you did do and how you could have done them better, and be like, "Oh, I see you didn't get around to dusting." And so at that point it's like it takes a few days, but eventually every time you do something, the screen will change a little. Like it'll change color, and the kind of the distance between the camera and you will like kind of go in and out.
And there is a sort of not shake effect, but like the angles of the camera will get more and more circular. It will more and more like it becomes nauseating when the stress gets really high.
Yeah. And eventually stress gets so high that it's like the camera zooms basically as close as it possibly could, and the screen is like shaking and everything's blurry, because you need to go find a room where you can stand alone and cry, to let it all out, basically.
I can't believe we've gone this far into the episode and we haven't talked a single time about the music. But let's correct that right now. The fucking music of this game is incredible.
It's so good, yeah.
I can't even express into words how is it that it makes you immerse. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's almost like impossible to talk about the music because it's just fucking perfect. Like in every single Deconstructeam game, you know,
And
like it
it
feels
really
almost
go fucking-
pointless to bring it up because it's just an inherent like thing.
it made me go fucking insane when in the documentary on the Garden one,
Yeah.
finger fucking spit, which is Paula, which is the musician composer for the Deconstructeam game, was like, oh, this song that I've made sucked. Oh no, I feel so bad. I will feel bad for days thinking about how much this song sucks. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
ow!
It really is like, once again, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
um, and this will be explored heavily in a future game on essays on empathy, but we'll get there. So
Okay.
so yeah, the thing is basically like things just keep piling on as you progress through this game. Your husband breaks his fucking leg and can't paint anymore because he just had to make a goddamn wall-sized painting that required a ladder to reach the tops of it and everything. And now he can't climb the ladder. And he also can't do anything but sit on the couch apparently. So but at the same time his parents come to stay at your place, and this is when I first noticed just how like genius the design of the game as like a gameplay system was, because
Yeah.
his parents not only add so much stress because they're just as awful as he is, if not more so. But what they also do is that they have to set up their bed in the office, and that removes one of your leisurely activities you can do.
Yep.
So not only do you now have 3 people micromanaging the little chores you do and like having something to fucking say about everything, but now there's one less thing. Like you can't sit and read anymore.
And one more thing, and that's the most fucked up part to me, gameplay wise, when I realized it. You need to be in a room alone to cry.
Yes.
And the more people are going to come in this fucking house, the less rooms you will have, and you will do this painful walk animation when your stress is at max for a while before you find somewhere to cry in.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And this builds and builds. Eventually, your sister gets like kicked out of her apartment, and she and her son have to come stay now. And so that's another room that gets taken up, another leisurely activity you can't do anymore. And once like everyone is in the house, the only leisurely activity you can do anymore is smoke a cigarette.
Mm-hmm. Which people comment on that they're like, oh, smoking is bad.
Yeah.
This is how mechanically the game works and how it involves you. It's a game you need to play for yourself, because the way the writing works and the little things that are said to the little jabs, like, you need to really experience it for yourself, because like it's all so ordinary. And also like there's something that the part that I hate the fucking most about the husband is that he's a fucking coward. Like,
Yeah.
he will point you out to how you didn't do something and then pull back on like, oh yeah, but it's fine if the house is a bit of a mess or whatever, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like, basically he wants to point out to those things because, I mean, for one, it's a shitty marriage where they don't have anything to talk about, especially since the husband won't let share his work with the housewife. But also, like, once he passively aggressively points out to those things that he kind of wants fixed, he also doesn't want to be that guy that's annoying. And so he pulls back and says, like, oh, well, no, it's not. It's okay. Da, 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 da. But then that's all they talk about. That's all their conversation is about during dinner.
Well,
And then
I don't think it's even that he doesn't want to be the annoying guy. It's that he wants to make her know that she didn't do something, but he doesn't want to make it a big enough deal that it's something he should have done himself.
Yep, exactly. That too. It's like, it's this conflation of things that culminates in the bed with the fucking guy wanting to have sex, and it's so genius. The game gives you the 2 options. Ah, sure, go ahead, or ah, why don't you just do it? And the other one is always like, I don't feel like it right
Yeah.
now. Like, clearly, there is no ambiguity here. The woman doesn't want to have sex with this man. She is not ever in the mood for that in this held of a house, but it's like due to the it culminates to me at the very end when you feel like you have this sliver of humanity coming from this man for a moment because he complains about his parents, about how they're awful and stuff, and how he's a fake artist and stuff, and you feel like you have this intuitive hope at this point, but then at the end he's like, so when I have sex, and the game ends there.
Yeah, and it's
And
also
it's
like
like,
it's not even just that. It's like a double gut punch where he does start like opening up and start showing humanity, but then his like little speech of apology turns into like, "I'm sorry my parents are here. I know that they make you miserable." And it's like, "No, motherfucker, it's you who's making me miserable this whole time." Like and then like once he's alleviated himself of the responsibility of why you are suffering, that's when he fucking asks if you want to have sex.
yeah, it's like to in these kind of relationships, and I'm going to talk about this extensively. In these kind of relationships, like the thing with the aggressor is that they're leveraging empathy and the sort of we're in this together moments.
Yeah. Mhm.
They're leveraging those as tradable tokens that they can then use for goods or services. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, in this case, the service being sex. Like, oh, I've been nice to you. Can we have sex? Like, and honestly, like the only reason this man doesn't want things to go get too sour. I mean, want to, and actually happens, but like the only reason why this man doesn't want things to go too awful and sour between him and his wife, is like because he still wants to have sex at the end of the day. He he's got his wife, he's got his big house, and he's got his big career, and he just wants things to go smoothly.
Yeah.
And so he just wants to have sex at the end of his day. And it's that simple for them. But for the other, it's like this. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like I guess I need to kind of talk about how I felt like this Essays on Empathy kind of weirdly zeroed in on my family situation.
Mhm.
Um, my father is like an artist, like he's a musician. Um, and my mom uh, doesn't have that. She uh, how do you think this situation could be any worse? Do you think just in the game, like in terms of dynamics, because the wife is like a housewife. She doesn't have a job, but she's rich.
Yeah.
So she gets to do whatever she wants, and it's something that the husband leverages against her a lot. Is that, oh, you have such freedom, you have an opportunity that no one else have to find your own passions, and it's like that's not how those things work.
Yeah, cuz he also like doesn't even really let her have her own passions because he's always pressuring her to just be like his fucking maid.
So yeah, fake and a fraud, that guy. But like, okay, now imagine there are kids involved.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the two of them. Um, the wife doesn't go all day outside, pass all day outside the house. She's at work in a like office work thing with its own sets of nightmares. And the guy is the housewife, but he's also a musician, but the passionate artist and stuff.
Yeah.
And after the day off of work, the wife comes only for the dinners, those fucking dinners,
Mhm.
and the night, and then goes back to work. That was my mother's situation with my father.
Mhm.
And it was so awful. Like, the more I take steps back to my childhood, the more I'm like, this was a straight up abusive relationship, no debate about that. But like, I still haven't had that conversation with my mom, and I feel like I would still dig up more horrors.
Yeah.
And what fucking killed me, you know the thing with the guy isolating himself in his studio room?
Hmm.
Eventually, my father was like, my mom was fired from her work at some point, and it was really awful for her. And she had to find another job, and she ended up going to Paris. So she would spend the whole week, from Monday to Friday, out of the house and only come back from the weekends, which I guess was liberating in its own way. But also, she still wanted to see us kids.
Yeah.
Like we were definitely important for her. I don't know. I should ask her what's how she felt that situation, if it was liberating in some way, as at least or not. Um, but from my father's end, it was more and more like, oh, why don't you go and find a job too? Like the kids are getting older, you don't need to be taking for them or whatever. But it was more like my eldest sister, not the one I'm living with right now, that was bringing this up.
Uh-huh.
And so, and you come up with all those fucking excuses. But eventually, he ended up becoming a homeschool musician teacher. He would have students come to the house and give them lessons. And what he set up was like he refurnished, I guess, the garage. Does garage exist in English?
Yes.
The word? Okay, I wasn't sure. Um, like the garage that we never used, into his own personal studio room with all of his instruments, recording things and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was completely separated from the house, and it had a big insulating door in front of it. And he would start spending more and more time in that. And I'm like, playing this game, seeing this fucking moron locking himself all day in his fucking studio, and I'm like, oh, those fucking sociopaths, that's what they are.
Yeah.
They just want the family credits without having to actually live in a family.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't think for a second that he was spending all day in that studio working on his fucking painting.
It's like, and yeah, like, I don't know. The this it's I don't even have the words, but like, playing this game is definitely one of the most important things I've done. I don't know, in terms of media experiencing in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I will actually return to that in the fucking library game
Hell
because
yeah.
of this. um, I guess I don't know. I don't have much else to say except that I think everyone should play this game because it's important. Like, I said how much it personally affected me, but I think like these ordinary things, the way they've made their way into our lives and into our family lives and into our dynamics, which is not an isolated thing. It's something that I think, at least as a Western white boy, I feel like on some levels has affected all of us at some point.
Yeah. I want
Yeah.
to like emphasize that too, is like, go play the game, you know. I cuz I already like am always being a fucking annoying loser about how like watching a video game is not a valid way to experience it. But I think like what's so cool about Deconstruct Team's games is just how much the gameplay is part of the experience. Cuz like, especially, you know, like we've already spoiled enough of this game to not care about, like, you know, go play the game, don't hear what I have to say about how it ends and everything. But like, the once you notice the gameplay decisions that are being made, it enhances the narrative so much more that you just wouldn't get from watching it
Yeah.
happen. Because it's like, you realize slowly, like I had said earlier, oh, now the parents are here and there's a leisurely activity I can't do anymore. Now my sister and her son are here, so there's another leisurely activity I can't do anymore. And now all I can do, because I can't read, I can't go on the computer, and my shit ass husband is sitting on the couch 24/7. The only thing I can do to calm down is go have a smoke. But also, the way, like, the people standing in the rooms means you can't cry in that room, the way that works so perfectly, too, is that it funnels you into your husband's studio, and instead of
Mm-hmm.
crying, you fucking ruin his painting by splashing a bucket of paint on it. And
On his
it's
dick. Oh
the
yeah, the
most
painting is a
fucking cathartic moment. Yeah, the painting is just of himself as a giant Vesuvian man, is what I'm assuming was gonna be the the end result of that painting, and it's so
I had
fucking
more of a
stupid. And
Jesus
so
vibe, but whatever. Both are stupid.
yeah, uh, so it's like the catharsis of that sure would already be pretty big if you're simply watching it, but the fact that, like, even if you don't have the eye for game design that, like, I have and recognize that this is what the game is doing, like, just the fact that you have to go walk into that room and throw the paint yourself is just like the catharsis is so much more.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I feel that way about every game in this collection and every game we've talked about here, but this is the one where it's like even the game design that, like, a normal person wouldn't notice uh elevates the feel of it just so much.
Yeah. And this is again, it's really the strength of this team is that yes, they do narrative games, um, that are, quote unquote light on mechanics or whatever, but there is such genuine high thought put into every moment. Okay, the player is going to feel that way and they're going to play this way. How do we leverage this situation to make the player experience something here? Like,
Yeah.
it's genuinely my, I don't know, essays on empathy is my biggest argument for video games as an art form that I could come up with.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, it's I they're doing it feels like they're doing some work that it feels obvious when you say it out loud, but that isn't being done at nearly a wide enough scale in the industry, which is an insane claim to stake because, like, I don't know, the 2020s have been a great years for games overall. I feel like am I disillusioned myself?
I mean, I guess it depends on the angle you look at it at. In terms of, like, games we got to play, yeah, amazing. In terms of the industry, pretty fucking bad. But, like, the thing is too is none of these games came out in the 2020s. These
True.
games all came out in the late 2010s. I mean, we're getting into the 20s with at this point in the collection. But, like, it's really, I think the truth is that the average gamer doesn't want art. Like even Clair Obscur can be played ignoring every artistic element of it. You could just play it on a surface level with the combat and everything. But, like,
Mm.
where Deconstructeam stands out so much is that it's all about the artistry. Every
Yes.
aspect of the game is about delivering that impact. Like, they're narrative
Hmm.
focused, but, like, I almost feel like that's, like, talking so much about how narratively focused they are does a disservice to the game design of
Yes.
all of these games, because they're
Exactly. Yeah.
also perfectly designed to deliver that narrative. Whereas I feel like a lot of narrative focused games are only focused on the narrative and let gameplay fall to the side.
Hmm.
But Deconstruct Team just fucking kills it.
Yeah. They fucking do.
So, 1145 of Vivid Life. I don't know. Is there any last
Yeah.
thing you want to say about
No,
Behind Every
I
Great
don't. I
One?
mean, it felt like I have so much feelings about this game. It felt like I was going to go on an hour rant, but it feels like, I mean, if I have more to say about it, I don't know. It will not be on this podcast.
For sure.
Um, lots of thoughts and feelings though. Go play it.
Yeah. Even if you don't play Essays on Empathy, you don't buy it on Steam, I'm pretty sure this one is a free to play game on itch if you just want to go play Behind Every Great One, which you should.
Yeah.
So,
A Vivid Life.
1145, A Vivid Life. So this one, I don't really have much to say about it. It's really cool. I played it like 3 times. Um,
Mm.
just to see like how different things could be, because I think they kind of oversell it in the description of it. Cuz the description is like, well, basically the way the game works is that you are a girl who has discovered, quote unquote, that your skeleton is not your own, and so you have like driven off to some vacant lot or something with an x-ray machine that you've stolen and like a medical tool set to examine like what else is going on with your body. And so you use the x-ray machine to scan your body and see if there's any anomalies. You go to your medical tools to extract the anomaly from your body, and then you come up with like the different reason that that thing is wrong with your body. And so the description of the game is like, we wanted to give the player the choice to make their own narrative of what's going on with this character.
Yeah.
So to the point where the story could either be just like a drama about a character who's going through a psychotic episode, or it could be a sci-fi story about a character who's been altered by aliens, something like that. And so I went through the game multiple times. The first time I played through it, I basically just picked like the option that felt most compelling to me, because basically you'll extract something from your body. Like there's a bullet that's been lodged in your leg since you were a young child, and you rip it out and you examine it, and you basically decide like, oh, my friend or my sister or something accidentally shot me in the leg when I was a kid and it never got extracted. Or, oh, this is a Russian caliber bullet and used by the fucking KGB or something like that. Or like, ooh, this is an alien piece of alien technology, something along those lines. And so you basically just pick what explanation your character comes up with, and then you can go on your little radio and tell someone about your findings, and they'll always respond with, please come home.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first time I played it, I basically just played it as this person is having a psychotic episode, and I just picked which option felt most interesting. And then, like, this at the very end, once you've discovered every anomaly and come up with your reasons why, this guy whose head is like fully bandaged and he has like a neck brace on, like a metallic neck brace on, walks in and just says, please come home, and the game ends.
Mm-hmm.
And then I played it again, going like, I'm going all aliens to see, because they said this could be a sci-fi story, to see if an alien comes and like asks me to come home, but it's the same guy. And then I played it again, picking all the like Russian military KGB options, and it's the same guy that comes to say, please come home. So I think it's almost doing a disservice playing the game multiple times to experiment, and like, because it's a really cool game, really interesting conceptually, but it has a bit of diminishing returns when you go back to experiment.
Yeah, for sure. What I would say is like, I mean, I need to mention my first time around, I got the fucking Gods Will Be Watching crossover. Did you?
Which one's that?
I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure there are like flavors of endings, because I went with a mix of family drama and science fiction, and her conclusion was like, "Oh, my body isn't mine. It has been supplanted by other beings. Those other beings are well intentioned. I do not understand what their motive is, but they're
Oh,
watching me and
yeah.
they care for me, and they would and something the Constellar Federation, something they all matter. Duharai, my brother, which is like the world of
The,
shaman you
oh,
guys
that's
will be
really cool.
watching.
Damn, no, I did not get that one. Cause yeah, like the different stories it could be are like the different conclusions that she comes to. What I was really getting at was like, is the person who comes and asks you to come home gonna be different? And no, it's gonna be the same person every
No,
time. Because
I
I
mean
think
I've
really
I mean
what the story is about is that you are like someone going through a psychotic episode and you are coming up with your rationale for what's happening. And so her story could be different, could be a different genre each time, but it's not like necessarily what is happening literally.
yeah, no, I mean I agree with your take that like it diminishes the thing with because you expect bigger things from the ending.
Uh
Um I just wanted to bring up the Ghost Will Be Watching one, and also like then I did the full psychotic episode one where it's only memories from childhood. And
uh-huh.
like I thought that it was really strong and it's a good follow up to without being nearly as strong as Behind Every Great Ones, where it's like it, you can see their intention to portray normal people that have went through stuff that happens to people. In this case, like she lived most of her life. We don't know if it's with a boyfriend or a family member, but they've lived most of this person have lived most of their life with this person that had clearly genuine mental issues, mental problems, and that suffered severe physical traumas in several occasions due to that. And you can see in their body how much it impacted their life and how where they are right now.
Mhm.
And I like that.
Yeah, no, it rules. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. It feels like we are arguing all the time, but all we want to do is really one up each other in how much we love Deconstructeam. Is what's going on here.
I mean, there's a clear winner. Is me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched
I'm
all the
going to. Okay.
videos.
Let's.
I Steam tattles and I can see on through Steam achievements that you didn't watch all the videos. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's report that conversation to El Cuarto.
okay.
De tres al cuarto. Eternal Home Floristry. Man, if it wasn't, I think it's my second favorite game,
Uh-huh.
just short of Behind Every Great One.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It is so fucking cool.
This game is about like a hitman is in hiding after having done a big hit or whatever, and um, they've lost their hand and they're in hiding at this florist's shop, and they want to do something and not just sit idly. And the florist is like, "Well, I'm going to teach you flower arrangement." And so you make flowers, you make bouquets for certain things that are relevant to you in this world as a former hitman. And due to how those flowers are very special power in that, well, they don't have special power, it's just they're the last real flowers that aren't lab grown. They have such an aroma that uh, they make people that have never smelled them like go quote unquote insane, or at least act according to the emotions given to the flower. I don't know if it's a flower language thing, or I guess it's a flower language slash cultural thing of what the flowers mean. But anyway,
yeah.
this way you can impact the outcome of whatever your client or situation calls on for your bouquet to be made. And that's it. And I don't really want even to go into the story. It's another one of those representation is cool and based in deconstructo
Yeah.
games. I mean, in general, but like they're again fucking knocking it out of the park in this one, where both the florist and the hitman are gay, but like they're not in a couple. The florist is way older, but it's like they're both gay people and they share this experience, and in passing in conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just who they are.
And you get a really cool aspect of it that will be revisited in Quarto, where it's like, due to their age difference, their experience of being gay is so different to each other.
Oh, I love that part in El Quarto.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Plead the fifth.
So yeah, I think like not dwelling on this one, even though it's so cool, is a good idea. I think like some really interesting stuff I want to bring up about it is actually in the concept art, because for each game in this collection, there's like play game, and then there's view a bunch of concept art, and then there's like view the documentary where they discuss their process of making this one. In the documentary, they actually talk a lot about how this may have been an additional section of the Red Strings Club, which was cool. To the point where actually, if you're paying really close attention in the concept art, there's one image where Donovan is standing in the florist shop. And I just really loved that. That was really cool. Because I think, like, yeah, this game shares so much DNA, both, like, mechanically and just thematically with Red Strings Club, that it makes total sense that this almost was in there. But yeah, I really like this game. Another really cool thing in the concept art was that you can see the spreadsheet of like the different bouquet combinations.
When you mentioned the concept art, I was sure you are going to bring up the spreadsheet.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
The spreadsheet rules, and like the fact that like there's a name for every combination of flower, there's a meaning for every combination, and then there's like different outcomes to the every single different client depending on which bouquet you give them. Just really fucking cool. It's like color coordinated. Go look at this spreadsheet. It fucking rules.
Just one bouquet title. Comme ça sorted.
I did not see that in the spreadsheet. I didn't spot that. That fucking rules.
It's incredible. I want to go back, play that game, and give that bouquet to someone.
Yeah, that sounds horrifying. Whatever that could mean.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, that's another thing about this studio that you can see both in their games, but both in, like, all the videos of their studio, is that these are massive fucking weebs, and I relate to them so heavily.
Oh, yes, it's so good. The fucking jokes in El Cuarto are so fucking... Oh, God. These are adults of my generation? These are our generation?
We're not there yet! We're not there yet!
No! God damn it! Fuck!
I don't think I don't think it'll be very long until we are there, though. So, because are any more thoughts about the floristry game?
I think it's
Eternal Home Floristry.
I think it's the game where I was definitely the most like, damn, there are narrative games that make me want to replay them, and that almost never happens with narrative games. Like, they make you interested in how mechanically the game works, of how mechanically your story is going to get changed depending on what you do. Usually with narrative games, I play as myself and I stop there. I don't really care. Like, I like having the choice, but I don't really care about exploring all the choices. All I want is to explore what I myself would do.
Yeah,
and then there is this whole fucking insane adventure I went on with 100 Line Academy, but let's not talk about that.
All right. Yeah, no, and I think like another thing too, where I'm so much more compelled to explore all of my choices I can make, especially, when I think about another certain game that's literally only about all the different choices you could make, It's just so much more engaging in these Deconstructeam games. But I can't think of the name of that game that I'm thinking of externally right
You
now. So
fucking
we'll
piece
move
of
on.
fucking shit.
Um, so
I
what's
see you at the quarterly quick play.
what was next? Dear Substance of Kin, right? That's the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, this
It's
one I have
I
almost
mean,
nothing to say about it. It's cool as fuck.
yes,
I don't know what
yes,
else to
it
say
is.
about it. It's just fucking rad.
Yeah, it's just fucking rad, and I'm pretty sure our next game, the next Deconstructor game and the final game of our series on the Deconstructor team games. Shit, what's
Cosmic
the
Wheel
name of the game
Sisterhood.
again? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this will return what this game. Oh, well,
Oh, okay.
it's
That
at. I'm pretty sure because I feel like the themes of occult and witches are like in this. Okay, let me pull up the description of Dear Substance of Kin. With this game, we again explore the sandbox formula that we tried out with Engolasters in 2021. This format allows for elegant world building and environmental storytelling. Someday, if we find the concept solid enough, we'd like to release the whole commercial game in such a guise. One can only dream. And I'm pretty sure that's
oh,
the Cosmic Wheel of Sisterhood because it came out in 2023.
okay.
And the base price is $15, which is much higher than the other Constructor Teams games. And I'm pretty sure that's because it has this ambition in it because it took
Yeah.
this much longer to take
That's
to make.
that's pretty exciting because yeah, I honestly know very little about Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, so I'm very excited to see, especially if it's like an evolution of this game. Because while I don't
Yes.
really have a lot to say about this one, it was just so fucking cool, and
Yeah.
I would love to see a more fleshed out version of it.
That's what we're in for. And by the way, there is a promotion that's going on Steam if you haven't bought the game already. Oh yeah, no, you do because you have the full
I
bundle.
bought that shit the second we finish Gods Will Be Watching.
Wow. By the time the episode is out, that promotion will probably be over. But
Yeah.
I'm going to I'm definitely going to use it. The bookshelf limbo. Uh, I'm curious about how you experienced that one.
This
But I
felt
can start if you
this
want.
felt like another one that just was targeting me specifically. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a game where you go to this bookstore and you're going there so you can get a present for your dad for his birthday. Either way, you're there to get a gift for your dad and you want to go to the comic book section because you want to like share one of your passions with him while also like getting him a gift. This is my exact methodology with almost anyone I get a gift for. I try to find some connective tissue between us where I can like give
Mm-hmm.
something that they'll like but also invite them into my world for the most part. Sometimes there's people where it's just like I know exactly what they like and they will not like any of the fucking weeb shit I like. I'll just get them what they want. Um but
Mm-hmm.
most of the time I've gotten so many people manga as a gift because I'm like I want to give you this piece of me but also like I know what you like and I'm going to tailor the manga I choose to that. So like, you know, there's a
Mm.
friend we have who's really into like the Joker and so I got him a fucking Joker manga. Like that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Um
Mm.
so this like felt what this already felt like it was targeting me specifically with like the way I get gifts for people, but it also felt like the way like it was targeting me specifically with just how fucking impossible it is to buy a gift for your goddamn dad. Like
Yeah.
every single thing you pick is like you pick up you basically you get the cover, you get a little description of what it is, you can check online for reviews, you can read like the quotes on the back, and then you can go like maybe this one, and then when you click maybe this one it comes up with a list of reasons you wouldn't get this one and then you put it back. um
Yeah.
and I don't think there's a single one that is just like the objective right answer. You just kind of have to like take a gamble on one of them.
I mean, the way I interpreted it is that you need to kind of surpass your worry about why it will not work and just
Yeah.
accept the fact that you are trying to connect with your dad in this way, and that inevitably comes with some uncomfort.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, exactly. I think like it's a kind of a combo of the two, cuz a lot of the times it's like, especially when I'm trying to buy a gift for my dad, I have like this assortment of options and I just kind of have to give up on finding the perfect one and pick one that I think is just like the least worst option, you know? Um
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, that's basically exactly what I did here, which is I got him Essays on Empathy, which is a comic book on this bookshelf. And I also want that comic book in real life. I
Yep.
also
Um,
really want Neon Ping Pong Lovers, which is one of the comics you can pick out. I want that in real life so bad. It looks fucking awesome.
uh, so yeah, I mean I agree. Um, Me, it was very weird this game because I was like, there's no way I'm going to. Okay, here's the thing. I mean, as you can already summarize, I'm not super fond of my father.
Yeah, yeah.
um, so I was already going in this game like, I don't, I'm not sure how to connect with this. Eventually, what I went with it was thinking about it like, okay, let's imagine I'm trying to connect with my mom here,
Yeah.
trying to offer a comic with my mom rather than my father. But the questions the character asks themselves is so fucking dad questions. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
it's very written that way. Um, Shit, what did I want to bring up? Sh- Fuck it. The one I ended up picking was also Essays on Empathy, which feels like the easy
Hell
choice,
yeah, brother.
but it's like I played the book game before I played Behind Every Great Ones. Um, I When I picked that book, I was like, I guess I should have there is a book that's like explicitly about feminism, the one with the Japanese
Uh-huh.
author. Um, there's this one
Yeah.
guy in the online sections that's a fucking asshole that's always saying misogynistic remarks and whatever. Very
Yeah.
realistic, 10 out of 10. And it's like I was like, I guess I would want to talk. Yeah, okay. I remember my thought process was like, okay, no, it is at the end of the day. Um, I can't not think about this like it's my father. So I was like, okay, what kind of thing would I double down on talking about with my father and confront him about it? And if he's a pussy about it, then whatever. Let's go back to ghosting him again. And it was this Japanese book about feminism, and I was like, yeah, let's see what you would think about that. Um, but then I ended up going back. It was weird playing through this game for me, and then I went back with no. I want to offer mom essays on empathy, I guess, and try to tackle on some of her, still conservative beliefs and stuff that she grew up in. And I'm glad
Yeah.
I did because it turns out in essays on empathy there is, well, behind every great one, which I mean, damn. I mean, it's so brutal. I don't. It's a hard sell, but it's like something that I think like she should need to experience in some way at some point.
Yeah.
So that
There's
would be my recommended to my my case in terms of comic book
I mean, I think
or quote
there's
unquote
there's
comic
like
book.
the kind of meta of it too, where I think of like if there's any game I'm making my parents sit down to play so they can finally respect the medium, it's Essays on Empathy, and I'm telling them to just not play Underground Hangovers.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's a good sell. The The last thing I wanted to bring up with the fucking book thing actually is that I did this essay myself before, basically what you said, right? And I did it with my father. It was at a point where I was both of my sisters had left, so it was only him and me in the house, and I was in this weird place of like trying to live with him, trying to take care of him, and also trying to connect with him, kind of like as an adult rather than as rather than as a kid. And for his birthday, I got him this manga, which is called the Gourmet Solitaire in French. I mean, I think you can tell what the English equivalent would be from this, since both words exist in English. Gourmet and solitaire.
Yeah, what manga is this?
Solitaire just means solitary, like alone.
No, I
in
know,
French.
I know. But what is this manga?
Okay.
I've never heard of this in my life.
So you wouldn't. It's an author that's popular in French. In France, hold on, let me.
Oh, I found it. Yeah, we just call it exactly what you just said, but in the English order of words, the solitary gourmet. That's the English version.
The author is called Jiro Taniguchi.
Uh-huh.
And this manga is a one-off, like it's a one-shot. It's a whole story in one volume. Jiro Taniguchi is like very well regarded in France as a manga author. It's kind of a phenomenon of like, hey, look, this one mangaka is making art.
Right.
Look, manga is art, which is actually dog whistling for downgrading all the other mangas. But his style is basically looks a lot like European comics in their like it has this sort of touch in the facial expressions that's kind of different from mangas, and that's more from European comics, I guess. So yeah, I picked that, and I would recommend it. I really like that manga. Just holding it in my hand, I'm like, damn, it's just the right format for a 1 hour read through and be done with it.
Hell yeah, that fucking rules. This is like a really super tangent thing, but like we need to just sit down one day and just talk about what the big manga and anime that made it to us are, because like we kind of touched on it a little bit when we were talking about like Fooly Cooly versus what was the other one that you said was like the popular one in France that wasn't Fooly Cooly that I was like not very familiar with? Was it Escaflowne?
No, definitely not Escaflowne.
Oh yeah, Escaflowne was sick as fuck.
That's one of those that that I kept popping up. It popped up a lot more than Fooly Cooly. It's not Ranma 1.5, though it was kind of popular.
we got that one.
Nicky Larson, City Hunter.
There was another one we talked about in our quarterly quick play, but whatever. That's beside the point. Let's not dwell on it too long. But like, yeah, I just think it's really interesting because yeah, Jiro Taniguchi, never heard of this man in my life before, but I'm looking at his wiki and I'm like, I should know who this fucking is, and it's really interesting that like his works made it to you but not to me, and I have no idea why.
Because it's the French snob thing that the French snob industry did its thing.
That's fair.
But to tell you how much this man is linked to France, I mean, he's well regarded in France. One of his mangas, the God Summit, I think will be the literal translation, Le Sommet des Dieux en français. It's a manga about climbing mountains.
Yeah.
And it was adapted. There was a movie adaptation made by a French animation studio.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie, but like that movie is on my radar. That
you should watch it. It's weird. It's kind of uncanny because you can tell like it respects the traditional mangaka style, but you can tell it hasn't been animated in a Japanese studio.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a very French anime style, and like when I picture that movie in my head, I'm picturing French anime.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's a really good movie. And I watched the premiere of it before it came out officially, and it was in Strasbourg that did its premiere.
Oh, that's so
where I
fucking
live
cool.
currently.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and so I got to ask questions to the fucking producer. And
that rules.
yeah, like, so yeah, that's just how Jiro Taniguchi is just a thing in France and not anywhere else.
That's so interesting.
So, end of the tangent, but you should read Jiro Taniguchi's stuff.
Yeah, I want to, for sure.
So I offered I offered my dad this book, being like, really like, okay, it's about food. Everyone likes food. It respects his comics sensibility things, like perfect comic book gift. But then nothing really came out of me gifting him that. Years passed, and then eventually it was time for the time when my sister asked me, "Hey, do you want to live together, do a cohabitation?" I mean, we call that a collocation in French, and so it was time for me to leave home, and at this point I was really just sour in general. All of the stuff I talked about with what I tried to do with my dad all failed miserably in ways that I was like, as an adult, I guess, learning of how much this moron this person is. And what I did is that this gift that I gave them, I went into his room, I picked it, put it in my baggage, and went with it, and now it's in my hand.
Hell yeah.
And I never heard him bring it up. Like, oh, do you know where it was? Or whatever. Nope.
Oh yeah, that fucker didn't read it.
Yep. Didn't care about it either.
No.
So, there it is. I wanted to bring this anecdote because it was really on point with this game.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Wanna talk about the fucking thing we've been edging on?
Before we
ahead.
go, that's definitely like a common occurrence when I need to get a gift for my parents, is that at some point I just have to realize that they're not going to give a fuck about what I get them, no matter what it is, so I can stop stressing so much about it. But it's hard because I don't want to do that, you know? But
I mean, I feel like it's more fun to put thoughts into gifts than not.
I agree 100%, but sometimes it's like I put too much into it, at least when it's my parents. I'm just gonna start giving them manga I like. I'm getting my mom fucking volume 1 of One Piece for her birthday that's coming up. That's what I'm doing.
Fuck yeah. You should.
Yeah. So I think we're both ready to end the Edge session and finally talk about De Tres al Cuarto. This game fucking rules.
Yeah. I played it several times to try and get good at the... Oh, man, I can't believe it took me this long to finally break your promise.
What do you mean?
Your promise to never play a roguelike.
I mean, a deck builder and a roguelike aren't inherently the same thing. There are plenty of deck builders that are in roguelikes.
Yeah.
Cause
I don't know.
Getting through this game isn't like founded on whether or not you get an RNG build to carry you there to the end or not. You don't have to play the game over and over again to see credits on it. That's what a roguelike is to me. In fact, there's actually a game I really want to play that just came out that's a deck builder that isn't a roguelike, and I'm so hyped because I saw like the tags on it and like saw the deck building and was like, this looks fucking cool, too bad it's a roguelike. And then I saw on like the Steam page and in reviews that it wasn't a roguelike, and I was like, yes, a game for me, finally.
What's the game?
Something Howl. Let me see on my wish list. It's like Death Howl, I want to say. Yeah, Death Howl. It looks so fucking cool. It came out December last year.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I just like the idea that it took starting a podcast to introduce the Deconstructeam and then manipulate the strings of causality the butterfly effect in order to have min-max notice the Deconstructeam themselves to then get you to do a whole series on all of the Deconstructeam games to finally make you play a roguelike at the very end.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what happened, but I was actually worried that that's what was happening with Underground Hangovers. I was like getting that sneaking suspicion, is this a fucking roguelike? But no, it's not really. But yeah, for context, everybody, my 2026 New Year's resolution is that I would not play a single roguelike this year. Because if you remember our very long Game of the Year discussion last year, Victor pointed out to me that I hate roguelikes, yet I played so many in 2025. So yeah, I swore to not play a single roguelike in 2026. Even though I did, like, one of the few roguelikes I've enjoyed was Slay the Spire, and Slay the Spire 2 entered early access this year. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not playing it until at least next year.
All right. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And if you try to fucking sneak a roguelike into this podcast, I will veto it.
All right. Damn it. Hey, maybe wait. Let me look at the tag of the sisterhood thing.
No.
That would be already funny.
There's no
see.
way. Imagine Virtue in a Sledgehammer is a roguelike. I'd be so sad.
No, I don't see the art tag.
I also think, like, you know, not to be a little asshole about roguelikes, but I think they're kind of, what's the word? Antithetical to Deconstructeam's entire vision and philosophy. Because, like, you can tell a compelling story in a roguelike, but you can tell one really fucking shittily because they have to get interrupted by 20 fucking hours of stupid gameplay between getting any story moments. Anyways, besides the point. Also, like, there's the fail state thing setting you back, and they've explicitly said they don't want to do that. Anyways, De Tres al Cuarto, fucking sick game. You are playing as a pair of stand-up comics who are opening for some other performance in this, like, beach resort kind of town. And you're basically early on relatively in your stand-up career. Your partner is a lot more experienced and has had a partner before. They're doing a very specific, like, Japanese style of comedy, which they point out in the documentary video that I can't remember the name of. Two person.
I mean, I guess that's the Tsukumi, no?
It starts with, like, an M. Manzai. They're doing Manzai comedy, which is very much based on, like, there being a straight man and a funny man. And so your partner is the straight man, and you're the funny man, and you essentially have a deck that is like a blank card, which means you just flub the joke entirely. A poor card, which is like you deliver a punchline, but it's not very good. A punch card, which is you deliver a solid punchline, and a build card, which lets you build on the joke, and basically, for delivering jokes, you get a certain amount of points, and if you build, you'll just get more points if you can pull off the joke, eventually. And so, it's really fucking hard to be successful whatsoever in these performances. So it works like a Slay the Spire, so I can see why you would think maybe this is a roguelike, which is that in between shows, you basically get a choose 3 screen where you can buy a new card to put in your deck. Also, before shows, you can edit your deck, and you have to spend the points to, like, upgrade certain cards or remove them from your deck. And the way it works is that it's, like, basically impossible to ever buy a new card or upgrade a satisfying amount of cards, or remove a satisfying amount of blanks from your deck. The only time it even becomes slightly possible to start being successful is like towards the very end. Which I thought was fucking brilliant, because it's like, it, once again, to the game design philosophy reinforcing the narrative, it is like, it's fucking impossible to be good at doing stand-up comedy when you're starting out. You have to bomb 1,000 times before you do your first solid session.
Jacob, I want to see all the funny jokes.
I see what you're getting at with that, but I also think like you do enough performances that the jokes start repeating themselves to the point where
No, it's not. It's not that. Yes, the jokes starts repeating themselves, and you choose every option at least once in terms of both bad, like poor punch and good punch. The point, the part where it gets really crazy is the build up, because for each joke there are two branches of build up different,
Yep.
and each branch of build up give a different poor punch, poor punch, and poor and good punch thing.
Yep.
So it branches out a lot actually, and it's great. But I want to see it all, and for that I need to actually play the game seriously and try hard min-max my odds to try and get the most fucking. And I actually managed to, at the 6th night, get a 8 payout in one night.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. It was pretty sick. But like, it's not. The game is really not meant for that, ironically, compared to the other games we've talked about.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
there is no dialogue choices. You just go through with the story.
I mean, by the
that's fine.
last few performances, I was getting payouts of like 12 to 15.
Okay, now I was just unlucky then, because I never broke the 10 despite having tried so hard.
But I never got a performance where I didn't like fumble at least once or deliver a poor punchline at least once. My most successful performance, I still like had to answer with a blank at one point. But also happening between these comedy shows is that you are not only partners in comedy, but you are also partners in love. And so you basically have like these little sections where after the show you decide between a few things of what you want to do to spend the rest of your night, which is usually like do something on the beach, do something in the hotel room, or do something at the bar. And it has like this really awesome bit where like while you're doing stand-up comedy, a section of your screen is like the show so far. So it's like a log of all the jokes that have been playing, that you've been making, so you can kind of track how it's been going. And then during these events, your characters will have conversations with each other, and there will be like the truth behind the whatever. I don't remember the exact words, but it's like what
the
is
unsaid and the unknown.
Yeah,
or something.
it's like what's being left between the lines of this conversation, which is both like how these characters feel about what's being said, but also some of them are just like history about the topics they're discussing, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. There is also some things like world building stuff that's like very reminiscent of Disco Elysium, where like they will mention, like at some point they mention oh man, I feel so bad. I can't remember their names.
Garza and Bonacera.
Right, Garza and Bonacera talk about the previous partner of Bonacera being the most experienced one, and a guy named Martin, and like they talk about him and stuff and what he will be doing right now. Bonacera mentions like the being working for TV now is probably good for his drinking habits, because he has less opportunities to go out than when he's in the field on the field, and then the panel at the hidden unknown and thing will be like Martin is right now in his dressing room, pondering whether he should get a rail of coke or a smoke or something.
Or drink some coffee.
I mentioned the Disco Elysium thing because it's this sort of poetic. There is something about the narrator, quote unquote, if you can even call it that. That's kind of like you have this very sincere moment between these two persons and it feels like they're all alone in the world, and then there is this narrator that's going to pull up and like show this sort of global connection in at the same time the whole space of the earth and like time, in mentioning how this character in Five Times is going to struggle with this topic, or right now this character is thinking about what happened 20 years ago when they were a kid and they were walking alone with a can of soda on their hand and their face bruised, walking towards making their way to the hospital. And it's like, it hits, man. It just fucking hits. Just bars after bars.
and like we said earlier about the Eternal Floristry, is that the name of the game? Whatever, the florist game. This carries on that dynamic of them being, I mean, in this they are a couple, but they're two gay men who one is like pretty significantly older than the other, and so their life experience of being gay is so different. And it's just so interesting, like, especially in that like truth behind the whatever section where it goes into like, you know, Garza's experience being gay is like, yeah, he's dealt with a lot of like hard times because of it, but not nearly to the extent of having to hide it the way Bonchera has had to.
Yeah. And also in the way that's like Bonanchera's. Should we spoil the ending?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think we need to go chronologically.
Yeah, Bonachera, like at the end, wants does it on stage, but he asks Garza in marriage. He asks. Wait, how do you say it in English?
He proposes to Garza.
Oh yeah, right. He proposes to Garza, and like he's not doing a bit for the thing. It's real. He proposes in front of the stage, and like. As Garza, you love Bonachella, and you say yes, you have different flavors of saying yes. But then afterwards, when they walk by the beach, Garza needs to tell him, like, no, sorry, I don't want to marry you. It's not that I don't love you, it's just I don't want to get married. And the thing is, Bonachella is like kind of shocked, but also Bonachella in the hidden dialogue thing was like, Bonachella is imagining himself how he could be the loving a wife to the kids with his pink apron and being the more listening one. And then thinking about how he got this cliche from the fucking Hollywood shit.
Yep.
And it's like, oh. And then Bonachella is still in this framework of like, I understand why you wouldn't want to commit right now or whatever. We can take our time. And like Garza is like, no, I'm pretty confident that is really not what I want. Also, I don't want kids.
Yeah.
I just don't want that for me. And it's like, but it's okay if you want that. You can just get in another couple and build that for yourself. And whatever happens, I will always be there for you.
Yeah.
And Bonachella is like, is like, bro, I feel like a dinosaur not having thought about this stuff and still thinking in terms of heterosexual norms of what a marriage is.
Yeah, like he essentially just pictures the heteronormative nuclear family where he is the wife. Cause like that's all the representation he's got. Cause he's like a bit older. And that is a really interesting aspect of it. Like that's part of why I really wanted to emphasize their age difference and how it affects the way they view their own identities. But like just this conversation at the end is just this really like bittersweet thing where it's just two people who love each other so much and want to spend the rest of their lives each other, realizing that they don't have the same plans for how their life is going to go. And it kind of leaves it almost ambiguous. I mean, it's a little less ambiguous because it does say directly at the end that they will like stay together in some fashion for the rest of their lives.
It's a Garza and Bonacella love each other and they will work things out.
Yeah. But it's just like this
And
this really beautiful
that's-
conversation where they're just like thinking of compromises and like thinking about, well, will you change your mind eventually? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know if I will either, but we can figure it out. And then there's this kind of funny and sweet bit where Garza's like, I mean, you kept telling a joke about being in a polyamorous relationship. Just go find yourself a guy who wants to have kids and be married, and then I can be your poly third.
Yeah. It's such a good bit because you've done this sketch like 10 times. It's like, yeah, man.
And you've thought of
we live
all
in
the
modern times, we
ways
can do whatever we
you've
want.
thought of all the ways to make a joke out of polyamory and poke fun at it and even belittle it in certain ways, but then here it is being brought up as like a very possible solution to the issues they're having right now. And it's just really cool. And I think like part of why I love that this game is the way that it is, which I think we should mention, this game was developed so that it could be part of Essays on Empathy. Every other game in this collection was a game that they had released for free on itch.io, but this was like they made this so that they could release it as part of this collection, and you can see it in basically every aspect of the design of it. First off, it's significantly longer than any of the other ones. I mean, it says it's like an hour and a half. It really only took me like a little over an hour. But the rest of them are like 15 to 20 minutes if you're not just lost at what to fucking do. Or like replaying them to see different outcomes. But it's just so effective having conversations like this at the very end because you've just gotten to spend so much time with these people that even though you're only with them for a relatively short amount of time, like a little over an hour, like you just have such a solid grasp on who the two of them are because you see them interact with each other the way they would interact outwardly, but you also get like the truth behind the whatever section where you get their inner thoughts. And it's just like, even in this short amount of time, you just build this relationship so thoroughly that this last conversation is like, it's harrowing to you. Like, to me, I felt like when it was like, Garza's heart is beating, he's genuinely scared of the conversation they're having right now. I'm like, I'm right there fucking with you, brother. Like,
Yeah. So much.
because I like my fiance and I are pretty aligned on how we feel about all of those things, but like I've been in a relationship where we weren't aligned at all on that. And like, I mean, it wasn't a good relationship to begin with, but like if it was, it would have been devastating to find out that we had different ideals. And you know, it's pretty normal for two people madly in love with each other to realize they have different goals of what they want their life to be, and that be the death nail in their relationship. And so you basically get to experience these two guys' entire relationship in like microcosm, and like to get to this point where you have to be a part of like worrying about whether it's gonna go on or not is just like so moving.
Yeah. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's like amongst all of the fucking representations we should theoretically be having today in mainstream, I'm not consuming enough to say definitely that we're not getting anything of substance, but playing this game, it feels like it. Because the substance is strong here. It's like, and also something that, like, I went back to play it because I wanted to get all the branch of the jokes that you could do and try to become good at the deck building thing, which is almost impossible, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Going back into it, thinking of the conversation and thinking of the bit of like, oh, you mentioned polyamorous thing in your jokes, you should seriously consider it for situations. You start to see the jokes that are being selected by Bonacella as like a broader mean to communicate his ideas,
Yeah.
and the stand-up comedies becomes less just jokes and more a conversation between Bonacella and Garcia, and a conversation between Bonacella and Garcia and the audience and what they want to communicate about the world. Like Bonacella has this bit about complaining about education all the time, but all the branches regarding that are like actually, politically relevant, critically relevant, because it's like, I don't know. Oh, well, the world we live in right now, it's career prospects is what? TikTok? Like,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, yeah, damn, like it hits to me. Like, you, the jokes are like so, like there is some genuine thought that was put into the concept of comedy. It's not just a writer that tried to come up with jokes, and you can tell because in the credits of this game El Cuarto there is a comedian that has been credited as a consultant
Mm-hmm.
on the writing, and it's so cool. That just like Red Things Club, and they had a consulted with a cocktail guy. Gardening, they watched a bunch of documentaries, like they engage with what is it that they want to portray in an artistic manner. The I don't know, the way I guess it feels obvious now to do everything.
Yeah.
To me, and I really so much. It transitions right into what I wanted. What really hit me with El Cuarto, and I'm kind of glad I didn't play Essays on Empathy all those years ago when I got it, because I learned it was the Deconstructeam, but then didn't end up playing it. Like El Cuarto is really hitting me at the right time when Bonacella is talking with Garcia about what life as an artist is and what it would be in a quote unquote normal job, and why is it that we do things. And it's a kind of a repeat of what I talked about in Many Nights of Wishes, I think. At this point, I'm delirious. I don't remember if I even talked about it earlier in this session of recording, but it's like the lessons I am taking from this year. I went from theoretical money doesn't make one happy to a very practical what it entails.
Yeah.
What it like there is a bit where like they go to swim, and Bonchala is like, this is why we do what we do, and Garza is like, what do you mean? You don't need to be a stand-up comedian to go take deep in the sea. And Bonchala is like, well, if you were doing a normal job, would you be here right now? And I think myself standing here, last time I took a dip in the Mediterranean Sea, the same sea that they are bathing, and I'm like, oh motherfucker, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, that's the other thing that we haven't even like up to this point talked about. Like we've been so focused so far on the relationship, but like the other massive incredible thing about this game is what it has to say about being an artist. Like the
Yeah.
it just works on so many levels, and that was the other thing too. Like literally, but maybe this is some Freudian things coming out, but literally before it even got into them being in a relationship, this game started, and I was like, oh, this is about us.
The skinny motherfucker and big dude on stage.
Uh-huh. trying
That's so funny.
trying their best to do a creative thing, having imposter syndrome, one being like slightly more mature in some ways and slightly less in others. Yeah, I was like, fuck, like this is what we're going through making this fucking podcast right now.
Fuck, I'm sorry, man. I didn't see it. Now I can't help but see it, but I didn't see it. Like, yeah, it's true. You are older than me, like by 5 years. from.
But you know what's funny is that isn't even what I was thinking about. I pictured myself as Garza in this situation because, like, yeah,
What?
technically, but that's the point. Is that the game is covering imposter syndrome so much that I feel like no matter who you are and which one of them you align more with in reality, like, no matter who you are, you're gonna be the one identifying with Garza.
Motherfucker, you thought I was the mature one?
In terms of like creativity, yeah.
What the fuck? The fuck you mean? Ah. I'm sorry, it's just. Huh?
But it's like even whether one of us is more mature than the other in like a direct sense, I just mean like the feeling of being an imposter, like they cover it so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just so relatable.
I am shocked in how damn shit.
I mean, yeah, sure, I was the Bonacera in AMV making, but like when it comes to a lot of other things, it's like, I mean, I don't like, you know, I went to school to learn programming and game design, but I can't fucking do it and you can. Like
That's because I ended up enjoying programming. That was an accident. It's just,
but that's the thing.
that's what it is.
But either way, it's like we're both Garzas and we're both Bonacheras, just in different ways, you know?
I guess so. I never could have pictured myself as Bonachara, but that's such an insane reading on your part, and I say insane in the like positive, like that fucking. You're fucking.
I mean, our podcast was founded on.
You're on fire.
Our podcast was founded on you wanting to talk about Gods Will Be Watching.
Yeah. That was an accident. I didn't think I would. Like, I didn't. And it's so weird to me because Gods Will Be Watching came out in 2014. The YouTuber I watched back then that was doing the fucking Skyrim Let's Plays and stuff that had some very outdated takes is the nicest way that I would put it about the stuff that was talked about in Deconstructeam. So I watched his stuff when I was Ghost Watching came out in 2013. So I watched his stuff maybe when the game came out or maybe a year after, so I was about 14, 15 at best. And it was my, I guess that I played this in my childhood game. I didn't expect this team to not only still be around and make games that like evolved in all those times I haven't played those games and just became this whole fucking thing, this whole tapestry. And now it connects to us. And it's like, does God exist? It's one of those insane things that's happening in the world.
That's what I was getting at in Many Nights a Whisper, where I'm like, I don't know, sometimes it feels like maybe there is one.
Maybe there is fate. We went full in delirium mode. I love you, man.
I love you too, man. So yeah, I mean, like, there's so much I could say that I don't have very organized thoughts about exactly. Is there anything really specific you want to bring up?
Yeah. Play the game.
Yeah, play the fucking game. That's what I'm always saying. Do you get it now? Do you get what I'm saying? Play the fucking game.
Oh, the most annoying podcasters in existence.
Nah, more people should be telling you to play the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's genuinely true. I feel like I would have played some of the games, the fucking Something Rotten podcast. I mean, maybe not some of all of them, but I feel like I need to play the Metal Gear games. Did Something Rotten do a podcast on a Metal Gear game?
Yeah, they did 1 and 2. I don't think they did 3. But that's
right.
That's, you know, my one negative thing to say about Something Rotten, and I'm cutting this out of the podcast too. Is that sometimes Blake doesn't play the fucking games.
Yep.
I fucking love those guys. I love Blake, but sometimes he doesn't play the game. And frankly, I don't respect that. I get that he has a job, but you know, play the game. Play the game if you're going to talk about it.
That's right. Don't cut it out.
I'm calling you out, Blake Hester. Fuck it. I'm leaving this in. Blake Hester, you and me, 1v1 at the Big Shell. I don't know how we're going to do that, but maybe in Evolution Skateboarding, we'll do a 1v1 in the Big Shell level on that game.
Let's fucking go. I'll be cheering on the side.
Thank you.
All right. I genuinely, I feel like I've emptied my thoughts and feelings.
Yep, we've emptied our tanks, our emotional tanks, our mental tanks, our intellectual tanks, our piss tanks. We've emptied them all.
Okay. That is such a great way to introduce the secret lore.
the secret guys will be peeing lore.
Just leave only the tech bit and cut out the rest.
Okay, good, yeah. And maybe we'll explain more in the next quarterly quick play, since Lincoln can relate heavily to me on guys will be peeing.
Yeah. We should just call the quarterly quick play guys will be peeing.
No, you know what's really gonna be guys will be peeing?
Yeah.
Our 2026 Game of the Year episode.
Considering
it took just you and me 7 hours to get through that, imagine adding a third person. Imagine how many pee breaks. A third person who shares my chronic pissing tendencies, nonetheless.
Jesus Christ.
I do have some ideas of how to structure that episode to make it more, or I guess I should say less batshit and disorganized, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was episode 2 of our Deconstructeam Super Season, where we talked about Many Nights a Whisper and essays on empathy. So we are through 4 of the 5 commercially released games so far. And I'm fucking hyped for this 5th one. And I'm also really hyped for the 6th one that's coming out, TBD. I can't wait for either of them.
Yep.
Any big takeaways from this episode specifically? Like compared, maybe even like separate from Red Strings Club? It's okay if you don't.
This world, no. I'm cooking.
Okay, you let him cook.
In both Many Nights a Whisper and this game, it says on empathy, I get this strong feeling that we wish we could live in a better world right now, all of us, I think. And it's important to actively interact with those wishes and those feelings and actively do good for life, because happiness in those trying times isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's the baseline, because if you don't have that and everything else is going to shit, then you literally have nothing. So keep on wishing, keep on dreaming, and keep on loving.
Fucking beautiful, man. I love you. You rule.
You rule too. I love you, man.